What is going on? We are back. We are tackling some fantasy football drafts for 40,000 up top in the pug. Underdog just dropped this new contest. Very interesting. 3 entry max, fast drafts only, 40K to first. A really good kind of go between like the Schnauzer, which is a $3 entry, 20 entry max, which is about to fill. And then also, of course, Best Ball Mania, which is what we normally stream here. But we are going to tackle these fast drafts because I would imagine the next couple of days or so, these drafts will probably fill up and you won't be able to join them. But this is like a really good like contest, I would say, for somebody who's trying to be like profitable on Underdog as opposed to like shooting for the 2 million up top in Best Ball Mania. Generally speaking, the contest is widely considered not very plus EV if you're trying to be like a profitable player. But a contest like this would be a lot better for that because it's a smaller field, not as much rake. And also too, it's going to be an easier chance of like cashing. And if you want to go down to the
that's what I was going to ask.
I'm curious what the prize structure looks like.
10.4% rake, by the way. Usually for like a $12 contest, 10.4% is actually a really reasonable rake fee.
Yeah, and if you scroll down a little bit, like you can win some decent prizes up top. I don't know exactly how much is in the final. I would assume it's probably that 200 to 250 range or something. But just for making the playoffs and, you know, getting out of your pod or whatever, you're going to break even. And then obviously on Underdog, that's, I believe, is that a thing still? Do you still break even if you advance?
Click all rules. I think that's for BBM. I don't know if it's for Pug. Let me see. So if we go to all rules here, it'll show us. Did you get another?
It might open another tab for you.
Yeah, it might have opened another tab. Yeah, let me know if it did.
It's this contest anyways, regardless, you're going to feel pretty comfortable loading in 3 of these drafts. And if you can advance one and get it through, you'll have a good chance of making back quite a bit of cash on your initial investment here. So yeah, $12 entry, 12-person group.
124-person final.
Yeah, okay. So 124 people in the final, 12-person groups, 5-person groups, 5-person groups. And then, yeah, I would assume you have to be top one out of round 2 and round 3. And then, yeah, you finish in the week 17 final. But regardless,
very reasonable structure too. Like you only have to compete in the playoff rounds against 5-man pods. And then it's 124 winner take home at the top. Like, yeah, no, this is a really well-structured contest for sure.
Yeah. And then you get a 13x or whatever if you make the final there with a 150. But yeah, we're going to enter one of these pug drafts here. We're going to rip all 3 of them on this stream because they are, we're going to do the 20-second clock. And of course they are 3 entry max, of course, as well. So we're going to enter those. And if you guys are new to Underdog, you can see that up in the chat there. You can draft with us. And if you just want to join the draft, if you're filing into the stream here, we are waiting for 10 people. We might actually have a chance to, you know, get some questions answered too. If you guys have any questions in the chat, we might be waiting a bit here before this draft ends up filling.
What's good, Jay Meadow? What's good, Chimichanga? What's good, Al Boogie? And Jay Meadow, I'm still kicking myself when they went down to the Leafs for not actually placing that because, I mean, you heard me on stream. We've talked about it in the messages as well. Like the Panthers, when they're running at this level, like I'm sorry to the Oilers. I want McDavid to win a cup, but it's tough for me to see the Panthers losing in the final if it's against the Oilers or even the Stars for that matter. But it's probably going to be the Oilers. It's 3-1 right now.
Yeah. I think the way that Carolina Panthers, the way that the Florida Panthers play is nothing cheap, nothing deep. Like you got to earn everything against their goalie first of all, because Bobrovsky is just dynamite in the playoffs, and also just how they play defensively. It's like you don't get a lot of
they can skate, they can hit.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of odd man rushes, not a lot of breakaways, not a lot of mistakes in general. And that's what the Leafs failed to capitalize when they were doing that in the first couple of games. We should have really buried them in a 3-0 hole. And unfortunately, that Marchand overtime winner in game 3 was the death of us because they, won every game after that.
Yeah, he's saying that's exactly when I jumped on. Yeah, dude, I thought about it myself. I was going to place like a $20 or $25 on it, but I'm like, am I just doing this because I'm a hater? But the inkling was actually right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. McDavid for Con. Yeah, I think that's probably a decent.
Even if the Panthers win, if you look at the point totals, like 4 of the top 5 scorers are from the Oilers. If the Oilers take it to 6 or 7, like I can see the McDavid winning the Con despite losing.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much have to pace everyone on the winning team for you to get that, because I think conventional wisdom would say that if the Panthers win and there's no reasonable Conn Smythe winner, it would probably just go to Bob.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it right now, like in terms of just points, like obviously like that's not the end all be all. Like Barkov's going to have a good case and For what it's worth, Bennett and Kachuk are also point per game in the playoffs. But like, dude, McDavid has 24 points in 15 playoff games. He did it last year too. I think that's another good point about it too.
90s
So,
football, Chimichanga says Panthers and Oilers. Let's bring it back around to football again. We got five more people joining this draft. If you guys want to join it, head on over to the link there in the pinned chat. And then also you can just go to the Underdog main lobby if you already have an account and just join the pug and you'll be in this draft with us. Brock says 12 team Superflex start 9.2 per carry. Sent a 1, 2, and 3 in 2026 plus Jordan James and received Hampton and a 4th, needed an RB2, and now I'm firmly a top 3 to 4 contender.
Yeah, let's contextualize it like this. It's a start 9, so high end production matters more, which Omari and Hampton has the upside to be like
and
a legitimate
0.2 per carry as well. That's going to factor into Hampton.
Yeah. And you're also factoring you're now a top 3-4 contender. So that 1, 2, and 3 probably going to be in that 109 to 112 range, 209 to 212 range, 309 to 312 range. So yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable paying this for Hampton. You got a 4th as a little cherry on top. Honestly, yeah, sure. Yes, I would rather have the 3rd, but it's going to be a late 3rd. That 4th is even like mid. Like I'm almost comfortable washing them, to be honest. Like realistically, I would be curious the hit rates per year between a late 3rd to a mid 4th, because I can see like the difference in dynasty drafts. Like early 3rds for the most part kind of feel different than late 3rds.
That's a very good idea, Danny. I might actually go back and look at the ADP in terms of just third round picks versus 4th round picks in general.
Yeah.
Potentially the hit rates. But yeah, when you segment, what does a late 2nd look like versus an early 4th? Is there a massive difference there? What does a late 2nd look like versus an early 2nd in terms of hit rates? I think that would be definitely interesting. Obviously, you kind of have to, maybe multi-source some ADP, so you're getting as close of a projection as you can. But that's an interesting concept for sure, because I think most people would assume late 2nd is more valuable than early 3rd. Generally speaking, like if you were selling a late projected 2nd, would you rather sell that or an early projected 3rd? Everybody would assume early projected 3rd is the answer. And because that pick has a 2 at the end of it, there's a good chance that you get a lot better of a player if you were looking for like a veteran or whatever. So yeah, it's an interesting concept. I think in a 0.2 per carry, man, you could make the argument that you should have definitely had to give up your 26-1 and 27-1 for Omari and Hampton, I think.
Yeah, that's free. Especially late projected. Realistically, where would you place Omar and Hampton in terms of worth if in 2025 or in 2026 picks? Sorry, like I would need at least both those picks to be mid for it to be worth it.
Yeah, and so I'm going to be dropping the 2026 wide receivers to target and avoid on Sunday or Saturday. I can't remember exactly what day I'm going to drop it, but the wide receiver class, man, is not good. It's not good.
Is it just Jordan Tyson and the rest?
Pretty much. And like in terms of the prospect tier that we're talking about here, like it's not looking great, man. And there's a massive cluster of guys this year that could have a great season and, really propel themselves into a better territory of prospect. And some of these guys too have had some very reasonable excuses why they don't have like insane production through 2 years of their college career.
Carnell Tate's been playing behind NFL receivers. See, guys like that, it's like their profile is incomplete until it's not incomplete. Because if he goes out and he has a 1,300-yard year this year for Ohio State and they make the semifinal or the fucking national championship again, like he's probably gonna go top 50 in the NFL draft.
Well, there's a lot of guys that you could really make the argument. There's a tier of like, Eric Singleton, who came in from Georgia Tech, who's now in an SEC program in Auburn. You have, Carnell Tate and Brandon Inniss too, who you just mentioned have been stuck behind Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Egbuka, and a bunch of other, pro caliber players. Then you also have like Jaden Greathouse, who really closed out the season very strong for Notre Dame and had really good production in the college football playoff, especially. And, Kevin Concepcion, I don't know how to say his name.
He went to NC State. I remember he was a hotly talked about Devy pick after his freshman year.
He had a monster freshman year, but he had a down sophomore year. But again, if you think about, if you plopped a good junior season on a lot of these entering year 3 prospects, you could see them being first round NFL draft picks. It's just the problem is
Nick Anderson.
Nick Anderson is spoiler alert, actually ranks very highly on here.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys entering their 3rd season who were either high recruits or, had some freshman and sophomore production who just don't have a complete profile yet. But if you dropped 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns on Zachariah Branch at Georgia, people would be very in on him. You know what I mean? Because everybody's always assumed he's very talented. He just hasn't produced yet.
How does the model look at a guy like Elijah Surratt, for example, where he had like a huge year 2 years ago? This past year, it was
He's high
efficient.
up.
Oh, he's high. Okay.
He's high up. And part of it is because he's entering year 4 of his career. So he has more data than some of the, second and third year players there. Like, for example, Nick Harbor from South Carolina has gotten a lot of Devi hype, and he has absolutely no production. And his
why he's getting hype?
He's 6'5", 220, runs in the 4.2s.
Yeah, he's an Olympic level track runner.
Right.
At that size.
If you dropped a 1,300 yards, 16 touchdown season on Nick Harbor, he would be Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? Like that's what we're talking about with a lot of this class. A lot of this class has profiles like that.
Okay, so we're about to be on the clock here. I'm cool. I'm honestly cool with any of those receivers. Do you want to go and take McCaffrey here?
I would rather get St. Brown here. I wouldn't mind testing out a double receiver start from the turn.
I would actually have a monitor after those guys, but it's fine. We'll go by ADP because we're gonna do a bunch of these drafts.
Yeah, I think St. Brown would be definitely my preference there. I'd be cool going with one of the running backs in the second round, but I wouldn't mind testing out a double receiver start if one of them falls to us. Now, I probably can't take London over Henry in a half PPR, but we'll see if Henry goes here.
If Achane is there, we take him.
Yeah. I mean, Achane just went. Do you want to go Henry or you want to go London here? That would be my two options that I would be favoring. I would pick. I'd be fine going with London if you want to go.
London. Let's go London.
Yeah, you want to go London? Okay.
Yeah. Just because eat our vegetables now. Take the receiver so we don't feel forced to take a receiver later.
Yeah. No, it definitely makes sense. But yeah, to quickly wrap up the preview of the 20. I'll go way more in depth on the 2026 wide receivers to target and avoid. But if you dropped, let's say, a 1,200 yard, 10 touchdown season on the following prospects, they would be first round picks. And good profiles for what it's worth analytically.
Yep.
Denzel Boston, son of David Boston. If you guys
is he actually?
He is.
Because so I was looking at his profile. I'm like, oh, another Washington receiver that's getting some buzz. Like
who's jacked as shit, like his dad was.
Well, because it's funny. Because if you remember, going into the year, Rome Odunze was a top 10 pick. Going into that season, he was kind of getting the similar he might sneak into late round 1. He's probably a top 50-ish type of profile. That's what they're saying about Denzel Boston. Now, obviously, I haven't watched Boston, so I can't actually give you guys he's legit on film or
we don't know.
We haven't watched, but it is
let me just list the guys before you comment on any of them.
Sorry.
If you dropped a 1,300 yard, 10 touchdown season on any of these prospects, they would be at least wide receiver 2 upside prospects or better in the prospect model and comparable to some of the guys that went, Matthew Gold and Emeka Egbuka types this year. Denzel Boston from Washington, Nick Anderson from LSU, Antonio Williams from Clemson, Jeremy Bernard now of where did he transfer to? I'm drawing a blank.
He was at Washington. He was at Alabama.
He just transferred somewhere else, I think. Or is he still at Bama?
Is he at Bama?
Hold on.
I think, or did he go to Bama?
God, he just went to Bama, but it's so hard to keep track of these dudes, man.
He just went to Bama. He was at Washington, though, right?
Okay, so Jeremy Bernard of Alabama. He would have a nice profile if he had a good season. Yeah. Let me keep going. Mekhi Lemon of USC.
Yep.
Eric Singleton, now of Auburn, formerly of Georgia Tech. Lot of hype on him. He could run in the 4.2s as well, I've heard.
Yeah.
Carnell Tate of Ohio State definitely would have a great profile if he had a monster season this year. Even Brandon Inniss of Ohio State, he's playing the role that Emeka Egbuka vacates. It's possible he could have a very good profile if he had a great season.
So on Inniss, by the way,
let me just keep rattling these guys off. Jaden Greathouse of Notre Dame, he has a great season. He's going to definitely have a good profile. Kevin Concepcion from Texas A&M, who I talked about, who was formerly of North Carolina State. And then, I could keep going. Zachariah Branch, definitely, if he has a great season, he would be a highly touted prospect. And then Nick Harbor of South Carolina, too. You drop a couple of good seasons on some of those players, and this class looks a lot better. Yeah,
what about how does a guy like Jace Brown grade out, by the way? Because I was just looking at some of the names.
He's not in here for me because he's not in NFL mock draft databases.
He's
drafted not? Prospect. So if I'll look into more guys. But we're on the clock here. Who do we want to? Do we want to roll Chase here?
Easy pick, and then hopefully we get Breece Hall as well.
Yeah, being able to start your drafts, man, with a 2 stack of wideouts like that and a 2 stack of running backs like that shouldn't be possible, in my opinion.
Hear me out. So if Breece Hall does go here, I want Travis Hunter.
I mean, what do you mean? Hear me out. I already knew that was going to be what you say.
You got the Amon-Ra, I'll take the Hunter, and now we're even.
Yeah. So Brees went. Do we want to go Hunter here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can.
Yes, sir.
I'm never gonna draft Travis Hunter on my own because I'm gonna have bags upon bags of it of you. You're gonna have like 77% Travis Hunter. So
By the way, for those of you at home watching right now, so my buddy reports for the Jags. I'm not sure if you've seen Dan Griffiths on Twitter. Have you seen that Jags reporter?
I have not. No.
So I know him from the Tone Setters group chat, right? And so he he's on the site every day, reports on the Jags, and I sent Bush literally his article on like just what happened in OTAs for that day, and it was just consistent Travis Hunter glaze. He's only going to play obviously on defense and special occasions. He's already like going
before you say anything else. That's really all I care about. I'm sure he looks great, and everybody looks great this time of year. So I know you're gonna.
No, I know.
To bag defend all your Travis Hunter.
It's not everything.
Realistically, him looking good shouldn't have shocked you. So
it's not everything, but it is nice that I'm already high on him, and now I'm like, it's like when you've already made the investment into a stock, and then you're seeing like a lot of glowing reports on it, and you're like, oh, cool. Like everybody's like starting to realize like where I already was. You know what I mean?
Well, here's how hype works during OTAs and training camp. If you like the player, OTA training camp hype is important. If you hate the player, then it's just fluff.
Fluff.
That's how it works. You know, why would we ever pay attention to this hype that's on, Xavier Legette or whatever, like some player that people don't generally like?
No, I agree. It's just it's definitely funny. Also, Spicy. I know what you're referencing right now. That was 100% what you think it was that he passed to those girls, by the way. I'm not going to say what, but it was I
heard it was Tusi, not Coke, is what I heard.
I heard it was a pink bag.
Yeah, of Tusi, which is what that is.
Yeah.
It's like just if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, just look up Tusi on Urban Dictionary, and essentially that's what Stephon Diggs was seen on video passing a bunch of girls on like a boat, and apparently Stephon Diggs is dating Cardi B, so he's on some kind of like celeb little tour here.
I might have to lower him in the rankings. The fucking knucklehead factor is spiking right now. The knucklehead radar is spiking. Just for that, I might have to drop Diggs a couple spots and raise Kyle Williams a couple spots.
Yeah. Tusi, according to Urban Dictionary, is also known as pink cocaine. May have a sweet smell and produces mind-altering hallucinogenic effects, and it could have anywhere from, coke, meth, MDMA, whatever, uppers, caffeine, ketamine, whatever in it.
Yeah.
What do you mean my unk meter is going off? I know of a new school drug. That would be the opposite of unk meter. I would be like, what is this drug that kids are doing nowadays?
You know what we're set up for, right?
Do we take Burrow?
Yeah.
I was going to say, do we take Burrow here? Because we have Chase Brown.
Push the turn.
Push the turn? Okay. Do we want to go Addison?
I'm cool with Addison. I'm cool with Olave. I'm cool with God. I'm cool with any of those receivers, to be honest.
Okay. Let's roll with Addison here. I feel like I would love to get Godwin or Odunze or Olave with our next pick and be really like borderline close to done at wide receiver.
Hear me out. Do we want to go Burrow? Because we don't have any other stacking options for the Bengals. Or like good ones.
Yeah. I mean, if Rome goes here, then I'm cool with it. I also would not be opposed to taking Hendo or Kamara.
I'm cool with Hendo. I'm never, because we could also backdoor Drake May. Pause.
Chill. I'm cool. Let's grab Henderson here. In a vacuum, I think I definitely prefer Kamara to Henderson, but knowing that we have Chase Brown already, it helps sully that a little bit.
In my opinion, Mason, it's Jerry Jeudy, and it's not close.
Yeah, I mean, does Olave count? Because that would be my answer.
I like Olave too. I don't know why Jerry Jeudy's just not getting as like nearly as much buzz as he should be right now.
That's Paul's good list of the drugs that I listed off. I think that's what he's referring to, at least.
Oh no, I mean your unk meter for hating Diggs after seeing that video.
I see. Does anyone know if Diggs has back tattoos? Yeah, I mean, my unk meter is flying on Diggs a little bit. I've low key been like a closet unk this whole time, where I'm talking about knuckleheads and shit.
Yeah, no, Olave and Jerry Jeudy in this range, like they feel really good because you've seen the evidence production in the past. Like, dude, I don't think people realize, and Mason, you're going to laugh at this. Obviously, I would take Garrett Wilson over Jerry Jeudy, but last year in PPR leagues, they were within 10 PPR points of scoring. Jerry
Yeah.
Jeudy and Garrett Wilson. And we've talked about the split before. What was it, week 8 or 9 on? Once they shifted the identity of their offense, he was like the wide receiver 4 in points per game.
The one thing that I'm really scarred from doing is the whole week 8 to 9 on.
I agree
of stuff, because here's the thing: when you're in,
it was his first year on the Browns, though, so I think it's relevant.
You're like balls deep in the regular season, and it's just straight up chaos. Where Jameis Winston's starting games, I start to hesitantly not factor that stuff in a little bit more, because that's how you draft Kenyon Drake at the 1-2 turn. You know what I mean?
See, I agree. If we had to pay wide receiver 4 or 5 down the stretch level price tags, if he was like a 4th round pick, okay, I'm not going to be in at that price compared to where I am right now. I think he'd be like a 4 or 5 turn is where I'd value him. But when I'm looking at Jerry Jeudy in the 6th, though, he had that evidence production down the stretch, and people aren't really rising him up the rankings.
Yeah, the one thing I would argue, and someone I think just mentioned in the chat too, is I actually tend to think that the split might be closer between him and Cedric Tillman at wide receiver than people think. Because Tillman, before his concussions and whatnot, was producing. He was actually the guy that we wanted over Jeudy for a brief period of time there.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
But 90 receptions, 12, 29, and 4 touchdowns is a really good season. I don't think it should be overstated how good Jeudy was in totality.
Hear me out. I know you are Unk, but I would not mind double dipping Aaron Jones and TJ Hawkinson on this next turn.
Well, also speaking of Unk, Diggs is on the board potentially.
Because we have Addison, though, so I'm thinking maybe we can build the correlation, or we can go Diggs because we have Henderson.
That was my thought, is that we take Diggs because we have Henderson.
Okay, I'm cool with that too. Whichever one you like.
I also I do like kind of securing. There goes Diggs. I would be cool taking a running back here too. I would
Aaron
probably
Jones.
I think Jones is probably a good pick
because we have Addison, so we could always get JJ McCarthy as our QB3.
Yeah. I'm not really I'm not buying this whole Jordan Mason's going to start over Aaron Jones stuff. Do you believe this? Everybody's how it was the popular take to say.
He had 5 games of efficiency 1 year in his career for the most ideal situation for a running back in the league.
Yeah. Do you remember when it was mainstream to say this 49ers running back is going to be the actual starter way cheaper, like Matt Breida, Raheem Mostert years and shit? It kind of feels like that, where people are just kind of reaching on that. But do we want to go Hawk here?
I think so, because he feels like a tier break at tight end. And we're if we got Hawkinson and Njoku, I feel comfortable ending that at 2 tight end build.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
It opens us up.
So my general draft strategy this year, redraft, best ball, whatever, is going to be that I'm gonna need value to pass on wide receivers and running backs in the first 8 rounds. Because I really do think that it's such a top heavy position group this year, where the top 40 or so wide receivers stand out from the rest, the top 32 or so running backs stand out from the rest, and the quarterbacks and tight ends can be made up in numbers by having 3 quarterback and 3 tight end builds if you need them. And I honestly just like my teams more in best ball when I can draft 4 or 5 really good wide receivers, 3 really good running backs, and knowing that I can backfill Brock Purdy, Cam Ward, Bryce Young with a 3 quarterback build. I feel okay about that.
Hey, Bush, you might have lost Josh Allen. You're not trying to replace Josh Allen. You got to replace him in the aggregate.
Oh, God. James fucking Jason Giambi reference or whatever it is.
Yeah, no, I had to make the reference. There was actually a video I remember a couple years ago. I edited in the street from Moneyball into the video. I forget what video we were talking about.
It was Mike. I know the player was Michael Thomas. I remember that you're referring to. You're referring to Michael Thomas, replacing Michael Thomas in the aggregate. And unfortunately, I think you might have made a pro Marquez Callaway take.
No, it was anti, because I think that was when Marquez Callaway was getting all the hype. And people are like, well, he could take on the Michael Thomas role. I'm like, I don't think their intention is for him to take on that role. I think it's for them to replace that role in the aggregate.
If Sexy Pats is listening to this, one of the best BDG trivia categories that you could possibly think of is forgotten top 6 round redraft picks. And Marquez Callaway being a 6th or a 7th round redraft pick is actually insanity now that you think about it, because I don't think he suited up for an NFL team a calendar year later.
Bro,
So
I
that would
still
be
remember.
funny as hell. Like, name these forgotten 6th round redraft picks, and it's just like some terrible Marquez Callaway receiver that got elevated.
Also, Trey Harris is going round 9.
Yeah, dude. I've seen a lot of like pro Trey Harris people on Twitter and stuff. People are like, "Hey, why would I draft?"
though?
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, I know.
Even Jaden Higgins and Trey Harris over Igbuka. Come on, guys. What are we doing?
I mean, I was gonna say if he was no chance he was gonna make it past Jay Meadow. Like I already knew that, but if he did,
there was zero chance.
Yeah, like hear me out. Rashid Shaheed is not a bad option.
I would very comfortably take Pittman over everybody on the board.
I'm cool with Pittman too, but I was looking into Shaheed's season last year. And like specifically for best ball, because I think obviously the injury, it's a little bit thing. Obviously the offense is
he strikes
he
me
has
as
spike weeks.
He did, but he strikes me as the type of guy who
Fugaz
benefited from going down because he was about to stop being as good as he was.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pittman's just a better projection in general, so I'm comfortable just taking him. But like, I was actually looking into Shaheed because I was, I think it was a no flock, and it was when I was just selling everybody, and I have Shaheed on my team, and I was like sending offers like if for people who needed production. I was looking at his production last year. I'm like, he's like 25 years old, coming off of 3 weeks of 20 PPR points last year in his 5 weeks he played.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty insane to me that that Shaheed is going as high as he is when none of us believe in the Saints offense.
Literally,
like,
though.
I get you can point to game splits of him being like better than Olave last year, but like that wasn't going to last the whole season. I think everybody kind of realizes that was kind of anyways. You want to grab Harris maybe, or we can grab Shaheed if you want.
Yeah, let's go Shaheed. Fuck it. We were just talking about him.
All right.
Well, I'll let you make the next pick. But the thing is too, like we have our heavy hitters up top. We have our spike week guys. Like our wide receiver core is probably like 90-95% filled. Like,
yeah, we probably only need one more guy, I think.
Yeah. So if this is a 7, now we're fully caught up here. I feel like considering we have already 6 receivers through 10 rounds, having those running backs, I feel really nice about too.
Yeah, no, they're not bad. You get Jones and Henderson to kind of ping pong early to late season. And then you probably want at least, I would say it could be a 5 running back build if we take our next 2 soon. But it's maybe more likely a 6 running back build if we want to deviate to get a quarterback because Drake May just went and
why are all the quarterbacks going?
We have St. Brown as well. So maybe we should have taken a QB there, but
I mean, it's round 10 though, Corey. Like I'm comfortable if these people want to reach on their quarterback twos, like go ahead.
Yeah.
Not you, Nick, but like the other 2 people, Herbert and May and Goff and Nick's back to back.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been opposed to closing off our tight end build at a 2 build as well if Warren falls to us because we have Pittman.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'd be okay with grabbing Warren potentially as our second tight end.
I saw it was Hayden Winks that tweeted this, but like if you had the option to trade your 15th and 18th round best ball pick for a 10th round pick, would you do it?
Yeah, I would.
Because you can currently just pair Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones and probably get 10th round quarterback production.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I was thinking about that. I'm like, you know what? That's like a really interesting point that I haven't heard people make. Because if you just told me Indianapolis starting quarterback spot, like I'd feel pretty comfortable saying like that's probably a mid-range quarterback.
So you're objectively in a best ball format though, saying that you will take a 0 though if you have one less draft pick. That would be the only thing.
Well, yeah, but ideally you'd pair them with a different quarterback, and that would be in a 3 quarterback build.
But you only have 17 players on your team.
No, you're not physically trading it. You're just taking one in the 15th, one in the 18th.
Okay, but like if you took one in the 15th, one in the 18th, you'd then hypothetically have one less draft pick and only 17 players.
Correct, but basically you would do that on your 3 quarterback builds. You would just draft Daniel Jones as your 3rd quarterback instead of like Shedeur Sanders or whatever,
right. That makes sense
in there.
So
do we want to pivot to Njoku or Lawrence? Do you want to just grab Lawrence?
Yeah, we should grab Lawrence first, I think.
Because worst case scenario,
we're screwed if we don't get Lawrence, I think. So
we might have to double dip.
We're going to need 3 quarterbacks for sure. Yeah. McCarthy and I'd be cool with McCarthy and Richardson as our last 2 quarterbacks, or McCarthy and somebody else maybe.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
What is with me every time we draft a team, we end up stacking the Colts.
You love the Colts.
I'm like, should we just take Daniel Jones in the 18th round? I feel like I've said that every single draft we've done.
Do you want to push JJ? Or you want to take him here? Probably got to take him because the Justin Jefferson owner.
I cannot take JJ McCarthy over Jordan Love. I don't care that we have correlation.
Then let's not take a quarterback then.
Yeah, let's grab Kraft.
Benson or Kraft. Yeah, I'm cool with either. Yeah, let's do that. Fuck it.
Because if we could push Love again and we get Kraft here, that would make some sense. I doubt we'll be able to push Love this far, but I honestly just...
It's risky pushing quarterbacks considering how many have been going. But
I cannot for the life of me stomach picking JJ McCarthy over a guy who was quarterback 4 in fantasy 2 years ago.
I think that's reasonable. We could just play it. Plus, all the quarterbacks that have 2 or teams that have 2 quarterbacks are on that side of the board anyways.
Yeah, I mean, if it were up to me, I probably would have just taken Jordan there and figured out the rest later and stacked him with like Wicks and late round guys if I had to.
I mean, like we already made the bet on the Vikings though, so like I don't mind if we can get JJ to fall. I think I would rather have JJ at that spot, just because of the correlation.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me just look. I'm gonna look at week 17 stuff because we haven't really mentioned that throughout this.
Also, depending on
NFL.com, having autoplay videos makes me want to die. Because every time I go to it, it's just the worst. So we have Patriots, Chargers as a... Oh, no, this is last year's. Hold on. Why can't I fucking see the week?
Also, did you see Yards Created came out yesterday?
I did, and I saw that Judkins cooked in it, which is all I care about.
You know what's the interesting one, too? That I didn't realize he would... Well, yes, but I didn't realize Jaden Blue was that efficient last year.
Oh, God. Danny just goes, what Cowboys take can I take away from this?
I'm just saying it given the current state of the room. Somebody's got to have conviction on which Cowboys running back to draft because regardless, if you just told me Cowboys running back, whoever it ends up being,
are they the new Broncos running back from last year?
They might be because
Javonte Williams is on the same team.
But I meant it in the sense like that team's going to have touchdown equity. Like whoever actually ends up getting the most work is going to like Rico Dowdle was a 12th round pick last year, and he was one of the better 12th round picks there was.
Actually, to be fair, the Cowboys backfield was like this last year too, because people, unfortunately for myself, some people were pro Zeke, which I was. Unfortunately, and some people were pro Dowdle, and I got both of them, but I did draft Zeke more. Unfortunately,
I'm just glad I got to you before you drafted all Zeke and no Dowdle because I feel like at the end of the cycle you started drafting more Dowdle, so like you evened out your bags at least.
Yeah. So according to yards created per attempt, we have Ashton Genty, RJ Harvey, Byshell Tootin, Amari and Hampton, Quinshon Judkins, and then Henderson right after those guys. But your boy Jarquez Hunter and Jaden Blue immediately follow those players. So anybody that sticks out as like garbage here is what I'm looking at. I mean, it looks like some of the guys weren't sampled as well.
Just don't go JJ. Don't go JJ.
Yeah, we go McCarthy if he falls, ideally.
Yeah, JJ's or Nick's a G for that.
Yeah, we could... Yeah, we go McCarthy here.
Yeah, you have to go McCarthy. Okay, so with the other pick, let's plan it out now. I mean, like none of these guys are like Musso and Evil Beaver.
I'd be cool grabbing.
I like
Tillman or Eckler or QJ here. I think we should grab a position player.
So the reason why I like Eckler here is because we have Trevion Henderson. It gives us our 4th running back, and it's probably a 5 build anyways. And I would say even if just like your top 4 running backs of Chase Brown, Henderson, Jones, and Eckler, like I feel confident with the early versus the upside with that room. Dude, Eckler's going to have a role.
I would okay, Tillman just went. I was going to say I would rather take Tillman, but let's go Eckler here.
Okay.
I will also, for what it's worth, in a vacuum, would rather take QJ, but I think wide receiver wise, we're in better shape.
Yeah, no, I think that's reasonable too. QJ, I mean, I was joking when I sent this in the Discord chat, but I don't know if I'm more disappointed by Zay by this or impressed by QJ that there was only a 0.5 point per game discrepancy between them last year.
QJ like is absolutely going to give you 4 or 5 spike weeks next year. Absolutely. Like it's going to happen. So him being a 14th round best ball pick actually is pretty nice.
Shout out Mason if you're watching.
Like if you scroll up to like the 9th, 10th round spicy, I'm just curious. Like, can you tell me with certainty that QJ is not giving you more spike weeks than Rashid Shaheed, who we took in the 10th round?
Let me see.
Bateman, Shaheed, those type of guys. Like, I can very much make the argument that QJ will give you just as many spike weeks as Bateman or Shaheed.
Oh, they 100
rounds before.
He 100% will. I think it's a marketing efficiency.
Which all that matters in best ball is how many weeks you get out of these players. Once you're round 9, 10 beyond, at wide receiver, you're kind of just thinking, okay, how many weeks am I going to get out of these players? I mean, yeah, you could hypothetically hit on a breakout rookie or something, but most likely you're hitting on weeks rather than the whole season projection.
Yeah, ADP matters to a certain extent. It's not like you want to reach down the board 4 rounds to go get your guy. But realistically, the difference between a 10th round projection and a 13th round projection, the difference between a 13th round projection and a 15th round projection, it's not much. Like the 10th to 15th round area kind of blends in. Like, look at us right now. Can you tell me tangibly how much better fucking Marvin Mims projects than Alec Pierce?
No, I can actually probably argue that Alec Pierce will give you more spike weeks than Marvin Mims.
Like we like maybe Christian Kirk is healthy and he's operating a role, but that's still a big unknown. Like 11th round over even
Wandale in the 13th.
Yeah, like literally.
They might be the same player.
Oh, fuck. You got Christian Kirk, and Christian Kirk 2.0 went 2 rounds after him. Like,
yeah. McMillan?
You know I mean? Yeah. Well, I was making the joke because they're both on the same team.
Noel. Yeah.
Yeah, no, obviously they play different, but
yeah.
I mean, fuck, the biggest one of them all is Cooper Kupp going in the 80s, and you're getting Adam Thielen at 15-4.
Yeah. So we're done at tight end, right? We don't want to take another tight end.
Yeah. I think we're done at tight end. I think we're done at.
We could get one. If Richardson falls, do we take Richardson here?
I'm cool with it. Do we want to try to push him? 16th round. I think we can push him the turn.
Okay. Well, what do we take instead? Justice. Okay. I'd be cool taking Justice Hill, dude. He might give you weeks here, or Giddens even.
Yeah, we'll end off our build with a
Justice.
Giddens.
Yeah, let's go Giddens instead of Justice.
Because if we get A-Rich, it's the Colts correlation.
Yeah, we already have Pittman too. So
this is in the scenario that they start throwing the ball more because Jonathan Taylor gets hurt and DJ Giddens steps into a workload.
I could argue that means Daniel Jones is playing quarterback though.
If Jonathan Taylor gets hurt, it doesn't.
No, if they're throwing the ball more in general, it probably favors not Richardson being the quarterback.
Oh, I was just saying inherently they'll throw the ball more if Jonathan Taylor got hurt.
Yeah.
This is like the anti-Jonathan Taylor team.
So let me posit an idea for you quickly. Would you rather take 8 games out of Anthony Richardson or 17 games out of Sam Darnold? Because that's the only question you have.
8 games out of A-Rich and best ball.
Yeah. That's the only thing with go ahead and take Richardson, but that's the only thing with taking Richardson or Daniel Jones realistically is that you are probably
undraftable.
You're probably almost guaranteed that you're taking a couple of zeros. Even if things run pure for you, you're getting maximum 13 games out of one of those players.
They're undraftable in typical lineup leagues. Like that. Let's get that out of the way. Like you're not drafting these guys in your home leagues. However,
I would draft if Richardson was going to start the season, I would draft him in the 14th, 15th round of a redraft league if I punted quarterback.
Yeah, like if you wanted, well, basically what I'm trying to say is like they're not guys that you're going to enter week 1 as your starter. Is basically what I was trying to say. Right. Like if you're drafting them like 15th round stash for Richardson, hopefully he figures it out. Like that is the rationale why you would draft Richardson. But in a best ball league, he just needs to start and hit your lineup 4 times to be a successful 16th round pick. 4 times is probably even over exaggerated. Like, dude, if he hits our lineup 2 or 3 times as a 16th round pick, that is a successful 16th round pick.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It'd be a huge success.
Yeah. So just thinking of it relatively.
Okay. So we have how many picks left? 2 picks?
I don't mind that, by the way, Jimmy.
We have 2 picks left?
2 picks. We probably need, we said what? Let's look at the team build right now.
One receiver and 1 running back, probably, I would imagine.
Yeah, 1 wide receiver for sure, and I'd probably say 1 running back. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do we throw the last bullet? It's probably RB versus receiver.
Samson.
Yeah, I'd be okay with Samson if he falls here.
Cool with Devin Neal.
I'm okay with Neal even too. We have Shaheed. I mean,
yeah. Did Jarquez go?
I'd be cool with Mitchell too.
I think Jarquez already went. Wow. Okay, so
we probably should take Adonai Mitchell actually.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Given like how we structured our team around Richardson and the Colts kind of being a surprise, I would say is kind of how we've structured this.
Yeah, well, like it's tough with Adonai because obviously
Brown's a huge value here too. I think. Just again,
let's take the Ami then.
Once you're beyond the 13th round, how many spike weeks is this player going to give me? Is the question you need to be asking yourself. And given that we have Lawrence and Hunter already, I feel like De'Ami Brown is the type of dude that can give you 4 spike weeks, no problem.
So the other thing too, obviously the 1-2 are going to be Hunter and BTJ, like that's already been reported on. But it was an interesting tidbit in that article I read because they mentioned that they want to kind of re-architect or what's the term, remake what we saw from the vertical passing game 2018 Rams. If you remember that, they ran off their wide receiver trio. Obviously, none of the three were as talented as Hunter and BTJ. Like, I think it's very clearly going to be a 1 and 2, and then a 3 with Diami. But he said, like, Diami will have a role. They're going to play a lot of 11 personnel. Obviously, after Brenton Strange, their tight end depth isn't great anyways.
Oh my God, dude. Mitchell and Diami go. We go Samson, I guess, right?
Yeah, Samson. But basically what he was saying is like, yo, Diami Brown's going to play probably, I mean, he's going to play all the wide receivers, 3 snaps, but he's going to play a lot of snaps on the outside. He's going to impact the deep portion of the field, and especially in a best ball setting, like for a 17th, 18th round pick, that's a really nice projection.
Spicy, go to wide receiver. Let's scroll the F down here.
Yeah.
Who do we like as far as a guy that can give us spike weeks here? I mean, I don't hate Jermaine Burton or Franklin, to be honest.
Do you like Naylor?
Kind of, because I think that Ty Felton might split snaps with him now. Yeah, I also don't hate MVS, to be honest.
Dude, I don't mind MVS either.
I mean, we don't have any correlation is the only problem. I feel like that's got to be a correlated pick.
Yeah.
I'd say Burton would be my selection of this group.
He's not correlated, though, is he?
Yeah, we have Chase Brown.
Oh, right. I might have taken MVS. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
Fine. He'll have like 2 or 3 spike weeks, and one of them might come in the playoffs.
Yeah. Like, I'm curious, who do the Seahawks play in week 17? Maybe that's a run back for us. Carolina. Do we have any Panthers?
No.
We don't. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. But either way, I think getting this time of year, especially like if you're going to scroll the F down in August, I feel like it's probably less plus EV to be doing that. But if you're going to scroll the F down in May,
you're hoping for the ADP riser.
Yeah, you're hoping for the ADP risers. And generally speaking, when you're hoping for ADP risers, you should probably be targeting like rookies, second-year wide receivers, guys on new teams, stuff like that. But yeah.
I mean, I'm curious to this too. Like, so we're looking at the Seahawks right now. Let's take a look. Here, I'm going to click their depth chart. We're not going to be consistently depth chart scouting. But if anything were to happen to Cup, I think obviously MVS is going to be a 3 wide receiver set, outside starter, vertical threat, no matter what.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, guys like, White and Horton are being undrafted. Like, if you're making the bet against Cup, I don't actually hate that.
Yeah, Horton would be. I also think Horton fell largely due to health, and he probably was a 2nd or a 3rd round grade for the Seahawks, pending medicals. So that's kind of also would factor into why I would think he would be a good pick in the 18th round, because come training camp we might hear some reports like, oh, we had a 3rd round grade on him, he's going to start for us his rookie season. And then I mean our MVS pick is probably cooked at that point. But
hey, hit him or my boy Ricky
stinks, man. I don't know why you like him,
bro. You know he doesn't stink.
He is bad. No, he's a bad wide receiver. We're gonna join another pug draft here. So if you guys do want to join the draft and kind of follow along with us, I will drop the link in the chat. Again, there is no way for us to actually send you the link to the draft. All you have to do is just go to the Underdog Fantasy main lobby. And then when Spicy hits confirm, when we enter this draft, that's what you'll have to do as well. And of course, if you guys do want to get involved in best ball, you guys can see some of the best ball contests that are live here: the sprint, the marathon, the big dog, weekly winners, the schnauzer, the eliminator, the pug that we're doing right now. And what was it? The hound, I think, was the $6 entry, 5 entry max contest as well. So,
and of course, the big dog itself, the BBM. Or
you can't say the big dog itself.
I forgot. Okay. The big man himself, the big honcho himself, the BBM 5 or BBM 6. Sorry, I so used to promoting it as BBM 5 last year, but you guys can see how the prizes are divvied up: $2 million to first place, $1 million to second place, $25 to enter, and $100K to the regular season winner. So, get your mix. That's my one thing I will say. Like, if you are playing, let's just say you're planning to play 25 draft contests in the year, don't just all go into BBM, or don't just all go into small sizings. Like, make sure you kind of spread yourself out, because you want to take advantage of the small rake, but you also want to take advantage if you have an absolute howitzer of a team drafted in BBM. It's a lot more beneficial if it's drafted in BBM versus if it's drafted in a, let's just say, like $3 smaller field contest.
Yeah, or worse, a cash game. Because we never promote this, but Underdog does just have 12-person contests where you can do $10 drafts, and if you win it, it's like a traditional $10 fantasy league if you were to enter that. But they do have high price point cash games that you can do as well. But it would hurt me to the depths of my soul to have drafted a meat missile in a cash game that's not in BBM or a big contest like the Big Dog or something like that. So that's
Was that your nickname?
The meat missile? No, I was thinking of I was low key. I have some nickname thoughts. And what Danny's referring to is in the Flock League, Mason and some of the other guys, we might get some like jerseys or like stuff designed for our team names, and we won't do the thing where we like changed our team names every week this year. And one of my team names is I might just name my team Humble Pie and just have like a piece of pie as like the logo or whatever. Because
the Muffin Man.
Yeah, because I just got humbled so hard in the Flock League last year. So I might just be like Team Humble Pie or like, reporting live from the gutter or something. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like I need some like started from the bottom, now we here type of energy to my team, because my team was just such a dumpster fire last year.
By the way, for those of you that are wondering, again, I'm not going to give any details because obviously nothing is confirmed. However, we did have a call, us, Mason, couple developers on the back end. We have big plans for that Flock League. So best believe if you aren't already following the Flock League, you will want to by this time in August.
Yeah. Big plans, not just for like the actual league itself and like what we're planning to do content wise, but the draft, the like first initial vlog of us drafting the teams, the meetup. If you guys were in Austin last year and you were able to meet us in person, we're going to be doing that again. So if you guys live in Texas or, we had people, I mean, I was so shocked that some people said that they like came from Philadelphia or whatever to come see.
Appreciate you guys, by the way.
A couple of us, or come to see Mason, come to see the domain guys. Like there was a land guy that came from like Eastern, the Northeast United States that came to see the land guys too. So there was a number of people there from all over the place, and then there were some people obviously just in the Austin area that wanted to stop by as well.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for that, by the way.
Yeah. So we are picking in our classic 104.
Shout out Matt
area there. So we got Matt pick 8. I don't see any other people at the moment.
Yes, sir. Jay Meadows
there at the 110. But yeah, should be.
Wait, Bush, you're picking at the 104 and the 109. Jesus. Oh, I thought that's an Unk. I thought that's an Unk Bearcat. Sorry, my bad.
No, UC Bearcat.
I thought that's an
I am not a University of Cincinnati fan, if that's what you're implying.
My apologies. I thought that said Unk.
I mean, I did love me some Desmond Ritter. Just kidding. I actually couldn't stand that guy as a human being.
You remember when we made up the rumor that he was lactose intolerant and Dan Campbell tried to feed him a bunch of milk in his interview and people ran with it?
Yeah, I do remember that actually.
Because people are like, oh yeah, that's just like a typical thing old Dan would do. Testing his mental toughness.
That's so funny.
Giving him the shits.
I know where Danny's going to want to go here. Danny's going to have 2% Justin Jefferson this year.
I would argue the tiebreaker would be overall ranks. I have them.
Okay, let's throw them.
But I'll let Spicy make the pick. No, Spicy, you make the pick.
Danny, you'll lose full if we don't pick CeeDee Lamb. We all know that you're a delicate flower that we can't ever go against a Cowboys take against.
No. All jokes aside, like if Spicy went Jefferson there, I would have been fine too. Like they're close enough. They're the clear 2 and 3. Like that's why I, especially in these underdog drafts, because in my normal rankings, I'm going to have the running backs mixed in ahead of the receivers, but specifically on this board, I just love the aspect of getting Lamb and Jefferson 2-3.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. I'm looking back into the chat. I just wanted to see some questions that we may have skipped over here. B Fred was in here. Hey guys, Bush, you know how crazy my redraft is with pick trading? Yeah, he has a redraft league where they trade picks like it's a dynasty startup. It's insane. He said, I currently own 5 picks in the first 2 rounds, 1, 18, 21, 27, 28 overall. What would be the best plan of attack with that setup? I mean, presumably you're going to be taking, I'm trying to answer a question, Danny. Presumably you're going to be taking Jamar Chase with your first pick. 18, 21, 27, 28 is going to be a good spot where you're going to hit the honeypot of like the back end RB1. So I would say probably getting your RBs in that area. Given that you have pick where the like McBride, maybe even Bowers would slide to you, that's also a possibility. You could deviate for a tight end there too.
Also, Spicy made the very good point. Lamb, because we just drafted a Minnesota team.
I mean, yeah, but we also didn't have Jefferson. Danny, you are going to have 2% Justin Jefferson this year, if that's what your take is. Anyways,
T.
Never call him that again. Yeah, let's go T. Higgins.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, we kind of got screwed as far as like who fell to us there.
Yeah. T.
Yeah, no, never again.
Yeah, it opens us up for the classic 304. Welcome down from London, Ontario, Chase Brown.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't mind. You want to rip a 0 RB here?
I'm
I
cool
wouldn't
with
mind
it.
doing it. I think the receiver value is pretty nice here. I wouldn't mind taking Tyreek or Wilson or Harrison if we can get one.
Hey, I made the pick on Lamb. I'll give you this pick to go whichever.
I'm gonna have
direction you choose.
77% fucking Chase Brown this year, anyways. So I mean, we don't have to take Chase Brown every time. Also, if McBride falls, I mean, we might have to take him.
Yeah.
It's just so hard for me to click on McBride when I think Kittle's actually the better projection.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, McBride went. I'd go Tyreek here. As much as people very much dislike Tyreek, he's more focused on Aiden Ross Twitchy or whatever than he is on football at this moment.
Let me paint the picture for you. Week 17, this team gets through to the final. You have 3 guys that can finish as the one on the week.
That's such a good point about Tyreek's BBM rank. Because like if you think about it, some of these guys are elevated in ADP based purely on what they can do on a 1 week sample. Like
for sure.
Purely. That's the only reason they're going as high as they are. Like if you think of Deebo Samuel's ADP in years past, like 2 years ago or whatever, when he was like the 16th overall player, like most of why he would go that high is because of what he can do on any given week individually. And there may not be a receiver in the history of football that has a higher weekly ceiling than Tyreek Hill. Like we saw what he did against my Bucks in like that second quarter or whatever. If you get that game in week 17, like that's insane. Same goes for like, we know what Jamar can do and we've seen monster games from him like that. Like there's one other receiver right now like that really rivals that week 1 upside or week 17 upside that Jamar has. And it could be Tyreek. Maybe not at this point in his career, but like he's that good in terms of what he can do, like, catching 3 80-yard touchdowns or something.
Yeah. By the way, I'm scarred from picking Tyreek last season. The difference is you had to do that in the top 3 of your draft. Instead, you're getting him now at the 304.
Yeah, if you argue, and I would hear out arguments for this because I think it's probably true to some degree. If you argue that Tyreek Hill is no longer the player he used to be, I think I could hear you out on that. That doesn't mean he isn't going to return value on his pick.
Look at Stephon Diggs before he got hurt last year. It was going literally in the same range as Tyreek Hill is this year. And Stephon Diggs the year before, like going into the season, like the receiver efficiency drop off. Like we were actually a lot more worried on Stephon Diggs. Yeah. Tyreek Hill, like, yeah, I guess it's a similar theme to that. But the difference is
there was injuries that you could point to, and the offense didn't have the quarterback and that kind of thing.
We literally saw a top 2 season two calendar years ago.
Yeah. He was an absolute machine in 2023. Like if by some miracle he is the same player and the wrist injury is more severe than we thought it was or whatever the case is, like
not a good guy.
Similar to like the Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall of it, where like you can kind of get dejected when you have freaking Skylar Thompson starting games. Like it wouldn't shock me if Tua playing like if I told you Tua's playing 17 games this year, I mean, Tyreek's going way higher than he probably is now.
I wanted Omarion so bad.
Do you want to go James here, or do you want to roll with like a Kittle or another receiver?
Hurts? No, right. It's Cowboys versus.
I mean, we're taking James Cook now.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I wanted Omari and he got sniped. Fuck. If Jaden Daniels had fallen though, it's Cowboys versus Commanders week 17. That would have been my option, but he just went 2 picks before.
Yeah. I want to remove a word from our vocabulary as it relates to best ball. I don't even think I'm going to use the word running back dead zone this year as it relates to best ball.
There is no dead zone.
It doesn't exist in best ball. It doesn't exist.
Like Bush, I'm not even the biggest RJ Harvey guy. RJ Harvey in the 50s versus Mike Davis in the 40s 3 years ago. Like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
George Kittle goes right before.
That's brutal. In home redraft leagues, the dead zone may still exist, but it would be kind of your own gauge to see if it does. Like if Alvin Kamara is a late 3rd round pick in your home league this year, the dead zone still exists for you. But in the majority of leagues, he's going to fall to like the 6th, 7th round, which means the dead zone doesn't really exist anymore for those leagues.
2 options here, in my opinion.
I'd be cool going Flowers.
I wouldn't.
Flowers or Sutton would be my pick. I'll let you.
I would go Hubbard or Waddle.
I'd be cool going Hubbard if you want to go Hubbard.
Let's go Hubbard then. We both have him in the 30s. The only reason I would have said Waddle, by the way, is the same spike week moniker, and we have Tyreek.
We do have Tyreek. So There was people who could argue that before you kind of didn't want to take Tyreek and Waddle together because they maybe
They're so
sacrifice.
depressed in cost now. Like it's not a first and second round pick you're spending on them. It's a third and a fifth or sixth, right? So
Yeah. And like the Dolphins and Buccaneers, for what it's worth, in week 17 this year, that game could literally produce like a 43 to 40 point game. Like,
yeah, best believe too. I want to ask you about this because it's so tough to gauge if I want to take a bunch of him right now or if there's legitimate risk. Like, what is actually going on with Chris Godwin? Every report I see, it sounds like fucking death.
really, I haven't seen any reports saying anything other than
it's
he's
just like
probably okay. Another non-encouraging Chris Godwin update is the Joe Bucks fan headline here.
Yeah.
Let me read this. Hold on. I mean, Joe Bucks fan is kind of a. If I had to rank reliability as far as Buccaneers reporting, he'd probably be dead last, legitimately. So
he's one of those.
He's one of those. He's been around for a long time. Like the site's been around for a while, but it's kind of just like a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
What do we got? Godwin was among several volunteers not participating. Any pause? So the question was asked by Joe Bucks fan, Coach, do you have any positive news about Chris Godwin, just his general recovery at all? Todd Bowles, I'll try and do my best impression. I mean, not really. He's working hard. He's coming around. We'll see more when we get to training camp. We're hopeful of week 1. Nothing's really changed. But if anybody can come and play, it's going to be Chris.
Why does he talk like a character on Forrest Gump?
He talks like he's got mouth tape on.
Yeah. Well,
like where he can't like fully use his mouth.
Yeah, he's like, so we'll wait and see. And
he's pretty boring, like as far as like a press conference coach to listen to. Like he's no Bruce, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, Todd is pretty reliable about injuries and whatnot. And Godwin probably just isn't healthy at this moment in time.
I know we already have 2 running backs, but Quinshon Judkins here feels so nice.
Yeah, I mean, you're the Rome.
I like Rome a lot here, but
I'd be cool with Rome here. I think Rome would be the better pick.
Okay, well, we'll see if we can push him back because, dude, in a half PPR setting, as much as I like Rome, like he's just not going to outscore Quinshon Judkins. Dude, my portfolio of best ball and redraft team is going to look like this a lot of the time, where I'm not even thinking about taking a quarterback or tight end until the 8th or 9th round. I'm legit good to grab our last 3 receivers literally past the 10th round.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be okay grabbing one more receiver in this range if we wanted to get an upside swing or something, but we'll see what falls to us.
Like if Judkins falls, I'm just not passing on him at the next pick.
Let me ask you this. In a format that rewards late season production, single week upside, are we not drafting Brandon Ayuk high enough?
It's so hard to make out because the thing is,
let's assume that he just had a poor run out to the start of last year. Let's assume that. Would he be going, if he was good before he got hurt, let's say he was like at least a 15 point per game guy, would he be going in the 40s or 50s right now? If he had 15 points per game last year?
There's more uncertainty. Oh, fuck, Judkins goes. There's more uncertainty with the projection because he was not producing before he got hurt. And I feel like people are baking in, well, obviously the offense didn't look as good last year. McCaffrey's coming back. Kittle's going to be there. He's the tight end 1 points per game. What if Pearsall or Jennings take a step? Like people saw enough target
Connor would be my pick, by the way, here.
Huh?
You trump me on Lamb. I'm going to trump you on Caleb versus Connor here, if you're cool with it.
Yeah, sure. I trumped you on Lamb. I think that's a fair capitulation. Capitulation.
But anyways, continue.
But basically, where did I leave off?
You were talking about Ayuk.
Oh, Ayuk. Okay, so there's more threats in terms of the overall target competition. We don't have as much stability and faith in terms of the offense versus what we had coming into last year. And Brandon Ayuk himself as a player, even before the injury, wasn't playing his best football. On top of that, once we hear more updates that like, oh yeah, he's recovering well from his injury, I think his ADP is probably going to rise probably about a round and a half.
So then by that logic, shouldn't we be taking him now?
We should. See the thing, because like when I'm looking it out, realistically, Jalen Waddle's coming off a poor year, but insulated in a similar type of range offense. In fact, I'd prefer the 49ers with target competition on it. Why wouldn't Brandon Ayuk be right in the same range as Jalen Waddle?
Yeah, I think you can make that argument. So on May 8th, we got a update from Kyle Shanahan and Clay Kubiak. How many Kubiaks are there, man? They're just like cloning them at this point.
One works for the Cowboys too. Another one.
So the update that we got from who said this? Clay Kubiak. So Clay, is he the receivers coach? I don't know what his job is.
Probably like offensive assurance or coach or whatever the fuck.
Anyways, I don't think he'd have a press conference. Maybe he's the offensive coordinator. I'm not exactly sure here. Offensive coordinator. Yeah, offensive coordinator Clay
he
Kubiak.
got promoted then.
Brandon's doing great in his rehab. Kubiak said when asked about the expectations for the star receiver. Expectations, it's kind of hard to pinpoint that. I know Brandon's working really hard. It's really hard to define those things, and I know he's doing everything he can to give himself a chance to get back on the field. And I know when we get back for camp, he's going to be working every day and just busting his butt to get ready to go. So that's all we can ask for. He's got the right mindset. We'll look forward to him being out there. So according to Kubiak, it's unlikely that he's going to be, well, not according to Kubiak. The reporter in this article is speculating that he probably is not ready for week 1.
Yeah.
Downs.
Kyler?
Oh, no.
Kyler.
Do we have? Yeah, we could go Kyler here.
Yeah.
I mean, we could take Burden. We have Odunze.
Let's do it. I was gonna say it, but I didn't think you'd be on board. I love it.
Danny is gonna.
I love it.
Cream his pants.
Big grin on the lad's face.
We might need to make an all Danny pants cream team of instead of calling it the dream team, it's just the cream team, and it's Danny just every time he talks about Luther Burden or Caleb Williams or Travis Hunter or Jaden Blue, he just like gets blue in the pants.
Hey, sun's out, dandelions are smelling good. I'm in an oasis.
I'm really gonna try not to like. So I wouldn't say the term emotionally attached because I don't think that's accurate. But I also think it's possible that every year there's a couple players that we go, I'm drafting them everywhere. I love them. I'm in love with them. This year, like you think about Breece Hall last year, you think about Garrett Wilson for me last year, you think about Devon Achane for us last year. Like sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But I do feel like more often than not, I can be blinded a little bit. So I don't want to try and be that way with anybody this year if I can possibly handle it.
Bro, it's just like you don't want to fall in love here because it hurts too much if you're wrong.
Do we just secure Caleb here?
Yeah, I'm down, of course.
Yeah, I would prefer to have taken a. I don't like Jonnu, but we could have maybe talked ourselves into him with Tyreek there. I would have taken Kelsey if it was up to me there, but punting Caleb there would be kind of sketchy with like 16 picks in between our picks.
My counter is why I take a tight end here if I can get Njoku at the next turn.
Yeah, I think we had to, I don't think we had a choice, to be honest. I think we had to take Caleb because he would have probably went.
Ideal next term for us, in my opinion, would be Dak and Njoku because we'd get a tight end. We don't have one yet, and we also have Lamb.
I was gonna say, where the hell are you pulling Dak from?
We have Lamb. Yeah. we have Lamb.
We have Caleb, so we're just gonna take Dak just to make sure that we have Danny's favorites.
No. I was actually saying that because of Lamb, but hey, I mean, like anytime you can get Dak, it's like who knows? Maybe he wins the MVP this year instead of finishing second.
Yeah, I mean, also maybe he busts his shoulder and he's a 13 point per game scorer and terrible when the Cowboys are on the field. And next year,
that's okay. That
a 35 touchdown ceiling.
Hey, that's okay. Not in the year that he finishes second in MVP, but the year that he gets hurt. In the game he gets hurt is when you'll start him over Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah. I hate Dak, man.
The fact that the timing that he gets hurt in the literal one game you start him is fucking absurd.
I've been screwed by Dak like so many times. Anytime I'm in on Dak, he sucks. Anytime I'm out on Dak, he cooks. Anytime I have Dak on my team, he stinks. Like I remember the year. What was it? The year that he got injured. The year that he got injured against the Bucks in Dallas when we went there. I drafted him and. He was awful, obviously, because he was hurt for the first 3-4 games of the year after that first game, and he dropped like 6 points in the first matchup as well.
Against the Lions, because we curb stomped the Lions, if I remember that.
Yeah, and then he started being good after that, but I had dropped him because I pivoted to Justin Fields after Dak got hurt.
Yeah, Justin Fields at that point was averaging like 25 a game.
Yeah, so I was fine for relatively speaking for that year, but like just every time I get roped into Dak, he just screws me every time. Do we have any other stacking options? Okay, I guess we could take Tua later if we don't want to take
off the
Prescott
board
here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We've probably got to take Loveland here, right?
Yeah, that's a good point too.
We got to take Loveland. We have Caleb Odunze and
Burden. Well, hopefully Njoku falls to the other turn. what would that be? The 12th? Because we could literally close out a 2 tight end build with Loveland and Joker.
Yeah, that's also going to be a very popular strategy of mine this year, I think, too, is 2 tight end builds where I get both tight ends as like top 15 options, but like towards the 8 to 15 range rather than getting early tight ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Kraft and Joku, Hawkinson, Loveland, Warren and Ferguson. Like I'm going to probably have a lot of builds like that, I think, this year.
Yeah, he went. That's
if we take Prescott here, we could take Ferguson later, though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so I'd be okay taking Prescott here. Yeah, there's not really anything else that really stands out to me. I don't know what to think of ETN at all.
What do you think of one of the Cowboys running backs too at the next turn if they fall? They're not going to fall. It's 16 picks.
Down for it, but
it's 15 picks. I'd be shocked, actually. I'm dumb.
I don't know what to do with the Cowboys running backs, man. I really don't. I think that generally speaking, Javonte Williams in a managed redraft league, if you're picking him in like the 9th, 10th round, might end up being like a positive EV pick because you could flip him after week 3 and maybe upgrade from an RB, low end RB2, high end RB3, like he's probably producing for you, into a, I don't know, let's say you have a receiver that's been going off for the first couple of weeks of the year and you add in Javonte Williams and you can up tier into, you know, Amari and Hampton or something, like because he's gotten off to a slow start, or Trevion Henderson, Judkins, somebody like that. That would probably make some sense for why you would want to draft Javonte in a managed league, but I don't really see a whole lot of upside to him in a best ball format where he would need to be starting in week 17 to be really good.
Also, we might have a FOMO room at quarterback if these two take quarterbacks, by the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have our 2 that I feel pretty...
This is very good for us.
Yeah, I feel good about closing it off with just Caleb and Dak.
Oh, no, I know. I'm saying like because everybody, 3 other quarterbacks went, or sorry, 5 quarterbacks had gone in this round. Those 2 also take quarterbacks. So now that Lawrence and Stroud are off the board, it's round 11, bro. Where is their ADP in relation?
I can't imagine. Drake May's ADP is in like the 130s or 140s, I think.
Oh, they go here?
They do go around here. I think most people have the strategy, I think, of I'm going to punt quarterback until the wide receivers and running backs dry up, and then I'm going to double tap quarterback. I think what most people are doing in this room, at least.
Yeah, which is probably the sensible strategy, to be honest.
Yeah, and if Blue falls to us, that would be nice. But if he doesn't, I'd be cool with Ferguson probably needs to be the pick for us, I would imagine, if he doesn't fall.
Ferguson's going to be one of them for sure, but literally any of those upside like handcuff type of guys, because we have our early season projection at running back. If we got like 2 upside guys, we have fucking Connor, right?
We do, yeah.
I'm honestly cool. I'm cool peddling Connor gets you there early and Benson wins you in the playoffs if we want to play that card. I typically am not.
I mean, I would just take Ferguson here.
Go Ferguson first. If he falls back, we can make that decision. Otherwise, we go with like a Gorendo or Speeders. But specifically in that type of example where it's like an older running back and then a younger running back like Benson, I don't mind the strategy of like, okay, he's going to pedal you in the first few weeks and maybe he goes down and Benson's what you need in the playoffs. Yeah. Like that's the type of
H&N thing that people did last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, like it depends on the opportunity cost. Like obviously, if they're both like 10th round picks, that's one thing. But if it's like an 8th and a 12th like this, or an 8th and a 13th, like I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, my best ball team
or
ever.
Bigsby.
I finished in Best Ball Mania 4, I think it would have been. I had a team that ranked, I think it was like top 150 or something. And during that specific prize structure of Best Ball Mania 4, there was a lot more regular season prizes than there's been in other years. And I ended up getting a nice little cash on that. I'd be cool with QJ here, to be honest.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm cool with that too.
I'd be cool with QJ. I'd be cool with Palmer even potentially. Like I don't know. Those guys are decent.
I'd be cool with QJ and McMillan, but we'll go QJ.
But anyways, on that team, that finished top 150. Sorry, let me just finish my point.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had Mostert and Achane on that team, and they both were elite picks, and I handcuffed them, and they both ended up being top 12 running backs that year. And it can work out. I'm not saying Benson and Connor would be that, but
you know who did that, by the way?
When they're relevant, like you said, would make sense.
We did that in our FFPC team with Ron.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we had Mostert and Achane. The only issue is we drafted the Bengals stack a year too early.
Yeah, we did. We had, was it Higgins, Chase, and Burrow, or do we just have? Yeah, we had. I know we had Chase and Burrow. I remember that.
Bro, if we had drafted, if the Miami running back situation and Bengals like pass game situation happened in the same year, we could have won that shit.
Yeah, no, we had a really good team that year.
Yeah.
minus the quarterback. Our quarterback screwed us because Burrow got hurt towards the end of that year, and then Chase was banged up and Higgins was hurt too, so it wasn't really a great. Well, how many times have you and I been saying during redraft content that one of these years the Bengals are going to crush, and we're just waiting for it? And last year was that year.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
to get 2 top 5 point per game receivers and a top 5 quarterback, it was going to happen eventually.
Bring up our team, Spicy. I just want to see what our structure currently is and look at the board. Okay, so we're at a 2-3-6-2. We definitely need a running back. Again, I'm like, if Eckler's here, okay, he's not.
Are you cool just going Loveland and Ferguson at tight end?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. So
you don't want to grab like a third late super dart throw potentially, or?
Well, yeah, I guess right now is probably not the best time to answer that because, like, worst case scenario, if we have to take like a last round Ben Sinnott, I would not be opposed because that does have a little bit of Cowboys Washington correlation, and theoretically by then Zach Ertz is dust.
Yeah, maybe.
So I don't mind that.
My vote for this next pick would probably be Tillman or Knoll if they fall to us, and we just kind of almost done at receiver then, and then we can go with a 6 RB build.
Yeah,
I just don't think there's any good running backs on the board realistically. I mean, we could take Roschon. We do have the Bears onslaughted right now.
I don't think we can. Like, I'm even cool with Rico Dowd. Oh, we have Hubbard, right? Fuck.
I'd be cool with Roschon here if you want to go with Roschon, but I think
we're both Jalen Wright.
I think. Yeah, I'm cool with Jalen Wright if you want to go him over Roschon. We have so many Bears. That's why I'm saying Roschon makes sense.
Well, we have Tyreek as well, so theoretically you're playing that. Yeah, Roschon gives me pause, man. Like I genuinely think the Bears running back is not currently on the team right now.
I think we'll know the answer to that in a couple days because the June 1st deadline of when
there's been ETN buzz.
Yeah, like what is it? The compensatory pick formula stops factoring in a few days. And I think a lot of teams have really started to take the attitude after that first wave of free agency, we're going to just stop signing dusty players during this period of time because it's losing us out on compensatory picks. We'll just wait until post compensatory pick time to sign a J.K. Dobbins or sign, a Nick Chubb or whatever. And I do think we might see some dominoes fall once the compensatory pick equation is no longer a factor.
I'm cool taking Dobbins on this team.
Yeah.
Him hitting would give us a lot of upside. Obviously, like not
deadline,
this pick, but
2025. I'm seeing when the day is. Sorry that the compensatory pick stopped factoring in here.
Clock.
Okay. I'd be cool taking like a Wandale or something here. We might have make a decision.
I'd rather a tight end. Give me Henry.
Henry at his third tight end, though?
I'd rather that than Wandale. It's a similar projection.
I guess. I don't think we wanted a third tight end.
I'm cool with it because Loveland's gonna work for early snaps. Like he might not get it right away. And Ferguson, if he's the only tight end you're peddling weeks 1 to 4 on, like I just feel like it gives us more assurance earlier in the season.
Yeah, that's fair.
Plus, realistically, dude, half PPR. What's the difference between Wandale and Hunter Henry? Just like in a flex position perspective.
Yeah, no, you're probably right about that.
Like, I just Wandale in a half PPR. It's like he's almost useless in a full because he's fucking not getting any yards on his catches. But in a half, it's like you're not even getting the reward of 140 useless targets.
I'm trying to find the compensatory. Does anybody have this information? I'm looking for the important dates for the NFL here. June compensatory window. I'm trying to find the compensatory date where it stops factoring in.
It's June 1st, I think. Because post June 1st is usually
it doesn't say that on NFL's website though. June 15 tender at 110%. Rookie readiness program. It's usually middle of June. I just can't find it. The exact date. What dates? Date do NFL free agents stop factoring into the compensatory pick formula?
Bro, you can convince me that fucking Wandale Robinson is just like a PPR scat back. What the hell is the stat line from last year, bro?
Oh, it's horrible.
How do you turn 140 targets into less than 700 receiving yards? Like genuinely, I'm very curious. 140 targets. You know how many fucking actual good receivers we would kill to get that amount of fucking targets?
Oh, dude, imagine if
like BTJ got 120. You're telling me Wandale's getting 20 more than
AJ
BTJ?
Brown gets barely 140 targets every year.
Yuck.
So
dude,
apparently last year the compensatory pick formula started after the draft.
Oh.
But I can't see anything that says when it is this year.
Pull up the board, by the way, Spicy.
We got to take a running back. I'd be cool going Jarquez or something here. We got to take a running back.
Yeah, no, I agree. Is Dobbins gone? If so, then yeah, let's go Neal or Jarquez.
Yeah,
I'm not in on Lloyd, bro. He's also hurt again.
Yeah, I'll be cool going Jarquez here because I usually am going to be taking not that much Jarquez, so I'm cool getting some exposure to him.
Yep, good player.
I can't find it anywhere. It says before April 28th, but this was May 20. Okay, May 2nd, 2025. So the compensatory pick for the NFL draft won't be determined until after the 2025 season is over. But keep in mind, players need to have been signed as unrestricted free agents before April 28th. Okay, so April 28th was the compensatory pick thing. So, but post June 1st, like you said, there's usually some financials that work themselves out in people's contracts. So that could be what the holdup is for some people too.
Do we want to go with Jalen Coker? We have Hubbard. Ah, fucking asshole. Okay, so we need a running back.
Yeah, I'd be cool going Woody.
Let's go Woody Marks. I'm cool with that. I was actually going to suggest that too.
Yeah. Is there any other running backs that go to the running back position really quick? I just want to see if there's anybody else that stands out to us. I mean, I think Kareem Hunt's interesting.
Chubb?
Yeah. I don't know.
He might sign somewhere, bro.
He might, but like, is he going to be good?
For a 17th round best ball pick or anything that good?
No.
Like if he's like, dude, where would his ADP be if in August he signed with the Cowboys? Like, even if it was like we don't even know who's going to be the starter, like it would rise 2 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Nick Chubb signed with the Cowboys, I think his ADP would be up near Javonte Williams.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like he very well could. And like this is already like basement level prices. Like if he falls to our next pick, I think we have to take him.
I'm convinced at this point that Jerry Jones plays Madden Ultimate Team and he wants to sign all these washed, dusty veterans so that when their NFL legend cards come out, they have Cowboys team chemistry.
I don't think that's the rationale for his personnel decision making.
Well, like I remember with the Brady era Bucks, we started signing Julio Jones, Le'Veon Bell, Shady McCoy, and Richard Sherman types. And the only benefit that came out of it is that now they'll have Buccaneers chemistry when you play Madden on those players.
Matt, what happened? Did we snipe him because we went with what I said?
Calvin Austin should have listened to Bush. He said.
Confused.
I'm guessing he has Texans players, maybe. I don't know.
Did we snipe you? Like I don't even know. Maybe he wanted Woody Marks. That's probably what it was.
Yeah,
right?
that's probably what happened. Other than Bowers, is this a big year for the tight? Oh, true. Other than Bowers, this is a big year for the tight end punt. Feels like a fair few tight ends were valued relatively high this time last year. Yeah, I'm very much in agreement to that. Speaking of tight end punts and where tight ends are valued, our tight end rankings video, which is the last of the ones that we recorded in person, is going to be dropping tomorrow. So you'll get a good idea for how we view the tight end position in that video. Brees or Jacobs plus Downs in a dynasty format. I think I'd probably just want Hall, but it's close enough.
10 teams start 9. Give me Brees.
Yeah.
Even if it's a 10 soon, like the only way, feels. I completely agree with Kittle. Like he is the one steal on the tight end board right now,
bro. I have George Kittle. Where is George Kittle's ADP? Can you go to where his ADP?
Oh, we both have him ranked inside the top 40. I know that,
bro. I'm higher than that.
Where do you have him ranked? I didn't raise him
28th overall player.
Yeah,
I'm 28.
I'm not going to rank him that high because I don't need to right now.
We're gonna be on the clock here in a second, by the way, as well.
Because in best ball drafts, like I just simply don't need to draft them there.
Okay.
So
are we need a receiver? Or do we want to take another receiver
or Chubb? I think we're just as we're more volatile receiver or running back than we are receiver.
Okay, well, I think Tolbert's fine. Backfill.
Cool with either of those two.
Yeah, we're gonna need to pick one, obviously, in the 20-second clock. But I think not going at least 7 receivers makes me nervous, to be honest. Because any time missed by any of your receivers, that could cost you advancing. And maybe people are like, oh, you want to run hot and run pure and all
Counterpoint.
this kind of stuff. If Jalen Tolbert gives me a week or two when someone was hurt on my team and it helps me advance, I think it's worth it.
Counterpoint. Look at our receiver core.
If we go to our receiver core, Lamb, Higgins, Hill, both very injury prone players, Higgins and Hill.
Yeah,
and
Chicago pass
Odunze,
stack.
Burden could eat into each other, and QJ. I think that
It's
was
spike
worth
week,
going
though.
with a seventh receiver, to be honest, because Odunze and Burden are not sure things.
I don't know. I think we needed the running back more, but I'm cool with it. Whether it's 6 running backs or 7, whether it's 6 receivers or 7.
I mean,
like,
in a
it
3
doesn't
wide
matter.
receiver start versus a 2 running back start, I think Cook, Hubbard, and Connor will make up 75 to 90% of our weeks. Like, I think we'll be just fine with those guys.
I would argue that CD Lamb, Tyreek Hill, and T. Higgins will do that, and I feel much better about the receivers after them than I do the running backs after those 3.
Right, but inherently having 3 good running backs versus 3 good wide receivers and a 2 running back versus a 3 wide receiver is a big difference.
There is a flex, and it's half PPR.
Yeah,
I think it counters. Regardless, though, it's very minimal in terms of macro grand scheme. Like 6 running backs versus 7, or 6 receivers versus 7 doesn't really matter.
yeah.
Like you guys can look at the hit rates too. Like realistically, those are 2 of the more common builds, anyways.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I generally want to be a little. I think if you're going to lean into chaos with one position and have less players, it should be running back. You know what I mean?
Our apologies, by the way, Matt. You hop in the draft. Appreciate that hopping in for us. We snipe you, and now it's back to work.
Yep, absolutely. So we're gonna do our final pug draft here. 20-second clock, and head to the Underdog Fantasy main lobby. And for some reason, it's not working when Spicy clicks on it. But just scroll over there. We're gonna rip our pug, and again, you guys do see the Hound Dog in the lobby there to a $6 entry, 5 entry max. Also a very lower price point contest for those of you guys that are just getting into Underdog. If you want to check out a contest like that, that's definitely something I would recommend doing before burning. If you don't have a very big bankroll, like if you can only afford to put $100, $200 on fantasy football drafts on Underdog this year, I would say doing these $6 contests, $3 contests, $5 contests are probably the best way to go about it.
For sure.
So let's get into the draft here. Hit the confirm button, and we are waiting for one more person. So if you guys get in here, of course, we will be drafting this last one on stream. And this contest is a lot of fun because it is only fast draft, so you don't have a bunch of bros when the draft contest drops auto maxing their entries and slows, which is what a lot of the best ball sickos do when it comes to puppies and schnauzers and all these other contests. So where are we picking here? Are we picking 107? I think this is.
Oh, so hopefully we got to hope somebody falls on a fallen sword.
Yeah, have we gotten a 101 yet?
Nope.
I don't think we have.
No.
I don't think we've gotten a 102 even potentially either. I think we've been mainly around the 104 to 109 for most of our picks, and then I think we got 1 or 2 turn picks at the end.
Yeah, no. By the way, I know you're going to appreciate this. I know J Metal's going to appreciate this. NHL rumor report that Frank Saravelli said that the Ducks are another team to watch for Mitchell Marner.
Why are you calling him Mitchell Marner, first of all?
I don't know.
Until he plays like a grown man, we don't use his grown man name. His name is Mitchie Marner.
Mitchie the bitchy.
Yeah. I'd be really interested to see how the 2 of you guys would tackle an auction draft. I've never done an auction draft, and to be honest with you, Sawyer, I think it would be a shit ton of fun to do one.
Would.
Like if we did the Flock League as an auction draft, that would be so much fun.
Could you imagine that?
Or if we did let's say hypothetically our listener redraft league was an auction draft, that would be so fun.
Yeah.
It's so hard to do unless you're in person, in my opinion. So
yeah. Plus, feasibly, we couldn't even do that for the Flock League because I'll straight up say the views on it just simply would not be the same.
No. The point of us putting kickers and defense in our league last year was so that it was the most relatable league settings possible, like a 1 flex kicker and defense league, like all of you guys probably play in.
Spicy, you're good, by the way, Norris.
Danny, what do you want to pick here?
I'm going. My next highest rated player would be Nico, but I'm assuming our second highest rated would be Puka, so we can capitulate on Nuka.
Let's go with Puka here.
Puka, his reception perception profile hasn't come out yet, but I mean, I won't show this on screen because obviously I'm not gonna, if you guys want to see the profile when it comes out, feel free to do so. I'm just gonna go to the cord and see what exactly we're looking at. Here, let me take a look. You can get a convo going. I'm just looking for something right now.
Yeah. Yeah. End of this first round area, I think double tapping receiver becomes very enticing for me on Underdog, just because I know I can get the third, fourth, fifth round running backs at a good value. Whereas in your home leagues, I do think it's going to be a little bit more optimal to say go 1-1 and take a McCaffrey, St. Brown or whatever start, versus on Underdog. I'd be much more likely to go with like Puka London than I would be in a home league, because you're not going to get nearly as many running back values in a home league.
By the way, Puka Nacua in 2024 success rate 85 versus man, 91 versus zone, 92 versus press.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Sawyer said, is there any chance y'all have copies of our redraft rankings and tiers over the past few years? I've been trying to go back and get an average price per tier of position in our auction draft. I mean, our old manifestos will have our most, like our right up until fantasy season started, most recent drafts. Like I could definitely confirm that I would have that for last year and the year before for you there, but I'd have to go back a little bit further to find it for the other years. But yeah, that's an interesting concept. We've never done auction stuff in terms of content. I don't know how it would work exactly. I could definitely farm that out to somebody who does make auction content to maybe convert our tiered rankings into auction content. And we can maybe even include that in the manifesto this year for those of you guys that do play in auction leagues. I think that would be something that would be a nice addition if we could find a way to just convert our tiers into auction values. That might be something that people would be interested in. I think London is a great pick here. So,
yeah, I'm cool with London or AJ Brown. We can go London.
Yeah, I can argue legitimately that London could go as high. If somebody told me they had Drake London as their wide receiver 4 for redraft this year, I don't think it's outrageous to say that you could take him over Puka Nacua,
I would.
Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, St. Brown, or Nico. I'm not saying...
I think he's a half tier behind those guys.
I think he's in the same tier. I think he has the exact same projection as those guys. He's a young 24-year-old wide receiver, just had 1,310 last year, who
all those guys showed
more of a gunslinger quarterback that can up his touchdown and big play count. I think that was the one thing that you were missing from Drake London last year, was more of those big plays, because he gave you touchdowns, he gave you receptions, he gave you yards, but the big plays in the spike weeks were kind of where he fell short.
I don't mind saying he can get to that level, but I think based off what we've seen already, based off their projections going into this year, it is a half tier after those other guys.
Yeah, that's
fair. I would still prefer him over like the lad, the AJ Brown for sure, but for me, it's like Brian Thomas Jr., you have a 1,300 plus yard rookie season. Malik Neighbors, you have the 35% target share. Mar St. Brown's been a top 5 wide receiver. Nico Collins was literally a top 2 wide receiver in the early portion last year before he got hurt. Puka Nacua, we literally saw as a 20-point per game. Like, we've seen such an elite level of producing at some point with those other guys. And although we did see, good production with Drake London, like it was wide receiver 13 in points per game.
He was as good as Thomas last year, so let's get that clear. He was the same.
I agree, but the difference is you're talking about a 1,300-yard rookie, and you're baking in the step up.
I mean, you're baking in a step up for a 23-year-old to a 24-year-old also.
Sure, but there's a difference between year 1 and 2 versus what, year 3 and 4?
Yeah.
I'm not saying London's not a bad or not a good bet. I'm just saying
Hunter in London's offense.
I get that, but at the same time,
I can definitely, like, they're 8 and 9 for me respectively. I have them back to back in my rankings. I do have Thomas ahead of them, but I can absolutely make the argument that London could outscore him this year.
The difference also is in the caliber of player. I think when we're talking,
about I don't care, dude. It's fantasy production.
But what I'm saying is
projects better for
if we think the younger player coming off his rookie season is a better player going into year 2,
Josh Jacobs at this value is absurd. 3.7.
Yeah, sign me up.
Holy cow!
It was him or Chase Brown, and we got one of them. So we're happy.
So in our running back rankings, we talked about where we have players ranked and all that kind of stuff. I moved Jacobs up after that, dude.
Where do you have him?
He's my RB 8.
He's my 9. So I have Chase Brown at 8, him at 9, Bucky at 10.
I had Bucky and Chase ahead of him before we did that video, but I would absolutely take him over those guys now that I think more about it, because he's just such a rock solid projection. Because with Irving, you're not getting the same caliber of workload as you're getting with Jacobs. What if the efficiency down?
He's a safer pick.
Liam Cohen and that kind of thing. Chase Brown, we don't know what the workload's going to look like because of what happened last year and all that kind of stuff. So I can absolutely make the argument that Josh Jacobs has both the same ceiling as those guys and is safer. Not just that he's safer. I can argue he has the same ceiling as those players.
On top of that, look how unique a combo of a team that we have.
Yeah.
London, we got at a dip. So the usual Puka London teams, by the way, are going to be had closer to like the 9 and the 16 or the 10 and the 15. So right off the bat, that's unique.
And you ain't
Second of
getting
all,
Jacobs that late down the board.
well, that's the thing. Jacobs goes at that 2-3 turn. So how many Puka London plus Jacobs combos do you think there realistically are?
Yeah, no, it's probably not that hard. I think this is the type of team you maybe want to get a little bit more focused on week 17 correlation too, because if it is at all possible for us to correlate something, it might be hard to do normally with the other players that we have here. So, I mean, if Lamar had not gone, that would have been an interesting team because Lamar and the Packers play each other in week 17. So that would have been really interesting. If we were able to go Lamar and Jacobs with the combination of Puka and London, that would have been very rare.
Yeah, no, that is actually fire. I didn't realize the Ravens play. Yeah, they do. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look now then. We have what? Rams versus Falcons. We already have that unique combo, like you said. We have the Packers going up against Baltimore, like you said.
Oh, I didn't actually realize they play each other. That's funny.
It's
probably not that unique then.
Hear me out.
I would pick Smith here.
I like Hampton.
I
like Hampton.
If you want to go Hampton, that's fine. I would personally go Smith.
I just think like any of the receivers we have at the next pick are going to be relatively close. I don't mind Smith, especially if he falls. But I also think between those receivers and Kittle, like, go with it. The reason why I'm saying that is because when we're looking at Puka, London, Jacobs, and Hampton, like, I would be hard pressed to see Devontae Smith again. Like, he could have a very good spike week. He's shown spike weeks before, but given the context of the offense being the piece you need in the playoff weeks versus if Hampton is the starting running back for the Chargers, especially in the context of this tournament, like it's only 12-person pod, 5-person pod, 5-person pod, 124-person final. So keep that in mind too. Like if we get Hampton to the final and we have him paired with that firepower, like that's where all the money's on the board.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And yes, this is the pug,
yes.
Matt. I can. So Matt says Josh Jacobs RB5. You heard it here first.
I don't think that's an irrational take.
I can argue Josh Jacobs over Derrick Henry. I can argue Josh Jacobs over Ashton Genty, and I can argue Josh Jacobs over Christian McCaffrey and Devon Achane. I could argue him as high as RB4. I wouldn't put him that high.
The highest I can go is 7 because again, like Achane, McCaffrey, Genty, just different level of upside.
Especially when as it relates to PPR leagues, it's hard to get Jacobs on the level of receiving upside that Achane, McCaffrey, and Genty have. It's really difficult to get you there. As far as a receiver, he had 15 touchdowns last year, 16 touchdowns, and he's not going to really be threatening 20 points per game unless he looks like 2022 Josh Jacobs in terms of as a player, he's rushing that well, breaking off big plays, scoring touchdowns. Like he wasn't even a 20 point per game scoring running back that year, as great as he was in 2022.
So we're 3 picks away. I'm cool with any of 3 players. One of them went off the board. I'm cool with any of 2 players. The other one goes off the board. I'm cool with one player.
So bad.
My player, it would be Calvin Ridley for me.
I would rather have Jalen Waddle.
I'm cool with that. We have to go to the receiver here, but
Ridley's weird, man. He's hard to figure out.
I like Ridley.
I like him too. I have him and Waddle like literally back to back, and Waddle went, so it's easy to go with Ridley then. I guess I would have been okay taking even Joe Mixon there.
See, the thing is, like, because of the context of this tournament, I think we had to go Hampton because of the upside, and all that matters is a 124-person final. However,
I would have much rather had Devontae Smith, Joe Mixon than Amari and Hampton, Calvin Ridley. I don't even actually think that's particularly close. Like I would have those guys much higher ranked.
In a season-long perspective, sure, but because all the money is in that final week, like I think Hampton is going to be a top 5 running back rank for us that week.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we bag fumbled an elite start, to be honest with you. I think we should have went Smith and Mixon there.
What's the difference in projection between Calvin Ridley and Devontae Smith aside from the offense?
I think
like just overall production,
you're getting much better spike week appeal out of Devontae Smith.
Counterpoint, Calvin Ridley's also a spike week guy.
He is, but I don't know, man. Ridley is a good 3rd, 4th receiver to have. I just think the upside of Smith is so much higher because of how much better of a player he is for starters. And also, you get a couple weeks where AJ Brown's out of the lineup at the right time. Like Smith could crush. He could be a top 6 receiver for me ranked on a week.
I don't want an unstacked Burrow, Spicy. I would rather go Judy here for sure.
I was going to say I'd rather go Kamara over both of them, but
I made the last. Oh, Kamara just went.
Yeah,
if you want to take a running back, we can.
I'm cool going Judy if you want to go Judy.
Okay. Because it also opens us up if we wanted to Quinshawn in the next round.
Yeah, that's fine.
And dude, could you imagine just the workload that we would? I know, like, running back volume is king, says all the high T fucking jacked bros, but Josh Jacobs, Amari Hampton, Quinshon Judkins, you're getting 20 plus touches from each of them in week 17. That would be a pretty nice fucking feeling.
Yeah, you know what I just realized? I have a soundboard beside me now, and I've never used it. And I kind of want to use one of the sounds in a second. Hold on, let me just examine what they all are, because I haven't programmed them. They just come pre-programmed on the Roadcaster. So I want to see if I have an opportunity to use one of these sounds.
Yes, sir. By the way, I appreciate you guys. Juicy start, nice team, fellas, looking vicious. Jacobs over JT Dynasty wise. Let me actually see where they are in relation to each other in my Dynasty rankings, so I can give you a full look. I currently have them RB12 Josh Jacobs, and honestly, I'm going to move Jonathan Taylor over Kyron, but RB13 Jonathan Taylor. So 12 Jacobs, 13 Taylor, 14 Kyron Williams, because I actually do have Taylor obviously above Kyron in my redraft ranking, so I have to change that in my Dynasty.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Danny, but I am itching for a startup.
I would love one. Also,
and I'm itching for a Devi startup specifically.
Quinshon go. Fuck. I'll let you make this pick. I've made a couple. I've been yapping.
Yeah. It sounds like Maria's doing construction on my house right now. I don't know.
Is she on the elliptical or something?
No, she's like hammering something in.
Oh.
Golden, probably, or Reed, because we got Jacobs.
Yeah, let's go Golden.
Yeah, I'm cool going Golden here.
And same theory for Omar and Hampton. If you're prioritizing Spike Week 124 person final in this contest, Matthew Golden, how could you go against the first round 3-level threat receiver in this offense?
No, you can't. You can't. I mean, like I said, I would have rather had Smith and Mixon on this team, and then the rest of it kind of playing itself out the way that it is. But I think it's materializing nicely here.
I'm telling you right now, we're gonna watch back this stream and we're gonna talk about the decision point, and one way or another, it's gonna either win us the tournament or it's not. And then we're gonna look back at it either way.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I think we can win this with this bad boy.
With this bad boy, huh?
Bad boy. Yeah. No good boys here. Oh, damn. See, the only way I can combat that. Sorry. The only way I can combat that is
feeding the ducks.
What is this? Okay, that's awesome.
So I feel like Pete has like full jurisdiction over feeding the ducks as like playing during drafts. Like I feel like we simply can't do that because he's been doing it for so long.
Out of respect.
But night driving is 100% the better tune, objectively.
Yeah.
Like if I crank this a little bit. It's just a smoother sounding tune. I don't know. What do you guys think of the chat? Do you guys like a little background music while we're drafting here? Let me turn it down just a little bit because it's a little bit loud at the moment. But I don't know. Maybe it makes the draft worse, better. I don't know. Because I know, like, if you guys aren't familiar with Pete Overset's channel, I think it's like the second draft of his, he always drafts like with the Feeding the Ducks song on. Anyways.
Mahomes here, Kelsey next pick?
Yeah. I'd be cool with that. I'd be cool even taking Swift here because we kind of need some early season production.
Yeah, go Swift.
Yeah, we kind of need early season running back help.
Mahomes, Kelsey would be a luxury. We're not even guaranteed to get the sack, so I think that's a smart play.
I think we also have tons of outs for late round quarterbacks between Stafford and Penix and Ward and whatever Browns quarterback. I think Love is also makes
Love's
sense.
probably our target.
Love is probably our best bet here for quarterback play.
Get Mahomes, Kelsey out of the queue, put Love in the queue. We'll make sure. That's a good call.
Also, I played crickets, right? That was the drop that played.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. I get it. Ha ha ha. Danny, dead joke. I'm joking.
Yeah. I don't know. I could get getting the groove of playing night driving while we're drafting or daydream. Why is daydreaming playing?
Wait, as long as Danny doesn't amplify his voice. Was I loud?
No, just sometimes you absolutely rip into the microphone sometimes, and I gotta walk you back.
Yeah, that's a good volume, yes sir. Classy. Davis Maddock plays that song too. Okay.
Feeding the Ducks, I would imagine he's referring to, or maybe he's a night driving guy.
Trust me, I love Dylan Sampson, the prospect, and I do think he's going to play a role as a space back like a Jalen Warren. But I'll tell you right now, if he gets, even if this is just last year's Steelers, it's a Najee Harris, Jalen Warren type of split, like you are going to get Quinshon Judkins with like a 280, 300 touch appeal in this offense.
Yeah.
Najee had how many last year? Najee had what? 263 carries and 48 targets. So that's 310 touches or 310 ops. The ops.
Do we want to grab? I'm still fine grabbing Kelsey, even though we didn't get Mahomes. To be honest, I think I
would rather wait.
I'm gonna have a lot of Kelsey on my own team, so if you want to trump me on this, this is fine. I just think this is a really good value for him.
Yeah, I'll capitulate.
I gave you the capitulation on the Mixon and Smitty decision.
Yeah, go ahead. I took Hampton. I would much rather have the Hampton decision than this one. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, you got that voice like myself. Yeah, no, I'm a loud motherfucker.
Yeah. This is Danny when he talks.
Literally though. Team target share when actually on the field in 2024. Wait, Puka Nacua had a 41.1% team target share when he was on the field last year, according to Rasheed Bar.
Yeah. Also, if you guys can't stand this music, I will shut it off. I'm just going to leave it on for now because it's kind of the vibe for the final draft.
This is an interesting tweet, by the way. Here, I can just share it. Team target share when actually on the field 2024. Puka Nacua, Rasheed Rice, Malik Neighbors, AJ Brown, Josh Downs, Nico, CD, Juwan Jennings, Drake London, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Brian Thomas Jr.
Hey, I will always be here for Josh Downs propaganda. So that's what I take away from this tweet. But I also take away that Rasheed Rice was an animal when he was on the field.
Yeah, dude, getting fucking 40% of Mahomes targets. Like, maybe he's a value in the 3-4 turn because he was quite literally a top 5 guy.
Saber. I wish they had best ball in Ontario. Couple things. First of all, anyways, we're on the clock. I'll get back to that in a second. You want to go Jordan here? Or is this too early for him?
Where's his
ADP? Punt him to our next pick, I think.
Punt him to the next pick. Let's go. Do you want to go Kyle Williams?
I'd rather go Bateman.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Yeah. Go Bateman. Run back.
That's fine. Whatever. Kyle Williams is cool.
We got him.
Did Spicy cook there just now? Oh, he cooked. Look at him go. Give Spicy the applause for that one. Also, in regards to best ball in Ontario, 2 things. Number 1, you can go to the Buffalo border or New York border and draft teams, slow draft, whatever you got to do. Number 2, there is a meeting going on with the ASGO, I think is the name of the company, the Gaming Association Commission or whatever in Ontario.
Yeah.
That is occurring in July. Now, if they vote yes, we'll bring DFS back, it might not be ready in time for the NFL season, or maybe midway through the NFL season it would come back because there's probably some jurisdictions and stuff and, permits and whatnot that Underdog and, all these other companies would have to get. But at the same time, we might actually get word whether or not best ball / DFS in general would be coming back to Ontario. And that was supposed to happen this November, but they tabled it for July. So that in November, we were actually supposed to hear about it. And that would have been perfect had that happened, because if it would have gotten approved in November, we probably would have had it back in time for BBM. But we might get word on that in July. I've heard Jeff Zokany. I can't pronounce his last name, but he works for Covers. He does a really good job of detailing the DFS in Ontario landscape because he's actually from Hamilton, Danny. So he does a good job of detailing what's going on in relation to that. We go J Love here.
What's his name?
Jeff Zokany. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He works for covers.com.
Oh.
But he does a good job of detailing exactly he covers all pun intended. He covers all gambling and DFS and stuff. He's just kind of a reporter being like, hey, this new country or this new state has this law passing. This new province has this new law passing. He does a good job of kind of covering that.
Jeff Zakadny or whatever. Zakadny.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name. But if you live in a state where something isn't legal currently, whether it's betting sites or DFS, I would say go follow him because he has good updates on what's going on state to state, province to province, country to country. He does a good job of covering that stuff.
Is he actually from Hamilton?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, dope.
It says that on his bio. I don't know if he's actually from Hamilton or not, but it says Hamilton, Ontario on his thing.
Which bio? Like
on his Twitter bio.
Oh, Twitter, right.
Did I cook my trade? Where are you, Pionio? Pionio traded Genty and Shakir for Jets. 10 teams start 10. Rebuilding, I have 5 first next year. Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this hypothetical question. In a rebuild, would you rather have Jefferson or Genty? Jefferson. I think I'd rather have Genty in a rebuild, dude. I mean, I wouldn't because I have Jefferson ranked higher, but I'm saying like in a world in which the two assets are balanced out in a trade and the sides are fair, I think
that's just based off of age, though. But I would argue that the age 3 years that you're getting with Genty, you're getting offset by
5, actually.
Yeah. Oh, right. 5.
Okay. Anyways, what do we got on the board here? Do we want to go Stevenson?
Did we really get sniped on Kraft?
Stevenson or Benson?
Benson.
Blue
or blue? Benson or blue?
Yeah, let's go Benson.
Okay.
You're getting a 20. Like, so going back to Jefferson versus Genty. Genty is 21 and a half years old and Jefferson's 26 and a half. Like it's almost 5-year difference.
Did all the quarterback? Oh my God, there's no way he took Penix.
Oh, that's brutal.
Okay, we can go Matthew Stafford. Yeah, start Stafford. We also have Cam Ward as an option because we have Ridley. We could also take our plunge on which garbage from the fucking Browns it's gonna start.
Yeah. Is J Love Matthew Stafford good enough for you on a 2 QB build, or would you want a third quarterback on that team?
I would want a 3, and it would probably be Cam Ward.
You think we need 3 with J Love and Matthew Stafford? I could argue that's a bet. We're toeing the line of 2. We could maybe get there with just 2.
Usually, if I don't get my first one within the first 100 picks, I like going 3.
GM, what's good? Bindles.
Good morning, brother.
Maybe you're a West Coast bro, but we are in the afternoon here.
Ontario.
3 stacked QBs, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is he from Ontario?
I know he's been in Ontario. I know he was in for the longest time.
Oh,
because we always talked about Hamilton.
Oh, Bindles, where are you from, bro?
Yes, sir.
JSN or Higgins plus Downs, Dynasty start 9. I'm assuming that's T Higgins. I'd rather have T Higgins and Josh Downs, to be honest, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I have JSN relatively close to Higgins, and then you're getting free insulation with Downs. It is a start 9, so like obviously depth doesn't matter as much, but Higgins and JSN are a close enough projection. Plus, you're, in my opinion, upgrading your point equity this year, and you're getting Downs as insulation. If Downs, I mean, we just went over that tweet from Rich Ebar, 34% target share when he was on the field last year. Now, obviously, he is a slot receiver, so he's not going to play 100% of the snaps. But if he could get to like a 25% target share, he's probably one of the best values in drafts.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, where are the onesies? They're all done.
I'd be cool taking QJ again because we have Hampton.
Yeah. Let's go QJ.
I'm just QJ pilled, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, round 13, you're getting 6'4", you're getting 215 pounds, 4.5 speed, yards after catch, big play upside, spike week king. Why did I just?
I wouldn't have hated
the fuck
Tillman
out of
there
QJ,
either.
but...
We have Judy already, but I wouldn't have hated Tillman there either.
Yeah, I mean,
but then at that point, we probably have to grab a Browns quarterback.
Which one?
I don't know.
Good morning. Good morning just means good start. Or yeah. No, I know John Warner. I wasn't sure if Corey did though. Corey, do you not know John?
I thought GM meant good morning, doesn't it?
Yeah, good morning because you had a good start in your draft.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
215 drops.
Scarborough. Yeah, that's what it was. I knew it was in Ontario. I knew it was around the Toronto area. Yeah, the Scarbs.
Yeah. I mean, surprised you're still alive living in Scarborough, dude.
Bro. We would always play Scarborough. I think it was the Scarborough Thunder when we were in our Ontario league. And I just remember every year they had, because obviously like the year turnover, like when you'd go up in age groups, you just play the same players. Their one, like by far best player was their running back. And we would always beat them, but their running back would always have a good day. Matthew Stafford on the next pick, or do you want to take him here and make sure? Because one quarterback actually behind us. I think we take him here.
Yeah, I'm fine taking him here.
There's just not much separation on the board.
Tillman kind of is intriguing. He just went, and we actually didn't really need a wide receiver anyway. So yeah, I'm cool going Tillman there.
And like we could go Dobbs, but like I feel like Jacobs, Golden, and Love is enough correlation to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I'm not forcing a Dobbs pick just because we have Love. You know what I mean?
This is very far in advance notice, Danny, but my brother is actually finally getting married. Him and my sister-in-law have basically been married. They have their third child on the way.
Yeah.
But they got engaged before she had her first child, like 5 years ago, and they're getting married. Pretty unfortunate timing for me. Week 4 of 2026.
No way.
Yeah. So the 2026 season at the end of September, I will be in Mexico. They're getting married too. So it's not even like I'm going for a week in Mexico during week 4 of the 2026 season. So I'll be able to probably still put out content and whatnot, but just to keep you updated, that'll probably be you carrying the load for that week a little bit.
And that's fine. And again, congratulations to him and his new wife and obviously their kids. So
I'm going to beat him to the punch though.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm getting married in July next year. So he's getting married in September. That's classic. And my sister's the oldest of all of us, is single. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, she's not single, but she's not married.
Yeah, no, I feel you. What was I gonna say? Oh, the other thing too. Speaking of just in the week in the season, I know this isn't really relevant for what we're just talking about. Bush, Thursday night football in December. We got to go to Cowboys Lions.
Is it in Detroit?
In Detroit, Thursday night football.
I don't know if you've seen Buffalo's schedule this year, dude, but their home schedule has some heaters on it.
Oh,
as well. Like
I'm planning to go to multiple games this year.
Crazy good games.
I'm planning to go to multiple games this year.
Okay. Can I take Roshan now? Because I've been wanting to take him for like ever.
Yeah. You know what?
Could go Hunter Henry too, potentially as well.
Hey, a little bit of 80. We have Swift, but
yeah, let's go Roshan. Oh, we do have Swift. Fuck, go Hunter Henry. Okay. Sorry, I forgot we had Swift.
I was gonna let you roll with it. You know what? Like I was gonna let you roll with it.
No, I don't want both Bears running backs.
Yeah. Is this just a third tight end Terrence Ferguson draft?
Oh yeah, all day. Yeah, Terrence Ferguson's just a good ass player potentially. Like that, we're all kind of. I wouldn't be shocked that 209 ADP by training camp if it's 135. I would not be shocked if Terrence Ferguson gets steamed up to a top 15 option. I wouldn't be shocked one bit.
Yeah, because it's going to be a concentrated target share, but he's going to have spike weeks given the athletic profile and given the tetherment to this offense.
Yeah. Hampton in a 28th third or Garrett Wilson and Tucker Kraft.
Hampton.
Yeah, one quarterback, no tight end premium. Like Kraft just doesn't have a whole lot of value in that format. So I would say, give me Hampton slightly.
Also, I'm a real Canadian now. I have my PR and got a job in downtown Toronto. Let's go, brother. Let's go. Yeah, no, next time, because a couple years ago, Jacob came down from Winnipeg, and me, him, Toronto, Dave, a couple of the boys, we all met in like a Toronto bar. We watched football that day, and that was actually the week that Breece Hall tore his ACL.
Oh, that's tough.
We'll have to run it back. Just hopefully we all say our prayers for our fantasy football assets going into that.
Yes. Yeah. Mason says thoughts on Superflex best ball. I'm not as much of a fan of Superflex redraft as I am of Superflex Dynasty. It's weird. I don't know why, but like Superflex redraft is just not as fun to me as Superflex Dynasty is.
I agree. Because like the whole point of the Dynasty aspect for Superflex is the market retains value on those quarterbacks. In a redraft league, nobody cares about long-term upside.
We got to go Jarquez Hunter here, right? With the team that we have built.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You'll never get me complaining about.
I guess I'm getting bags of Jarquez Hunter now. Apparently,
killed, bro. Also, Mason, if this is your belief, you will not like some of the moves I've done.
I think your league should absolutely let you trade 2028 picks as long as you're able to pay in to 2028. I haven't made that. I remember I mentioned making a video on like how to commission a dynasty league or like rules to follow for dynasty league managers or whatever. Would you guys still want to see something like that? Because I have a couple thoughts on like, bylaws and how to use league safe and general best practices when you're commissioner and that kind of thing. I feel like some people might want that as like because that's like an evergreen video that doesn't necessarily have to only apply to this year. That could be something that you could use 2 years from now and it would still be relevant as long as it's just like general rules to how to commission a dynasty league rather than like specific stuff that applies to that year.
Yeah, like Mason, you mentioned 2028. I just want to show this full transparency. I am already invested.
Yeah. Shout out to Kalik Lockett. The only prospect I know in 2028.
What What do you mean? Like Keelan Russell, Bryce Underwood, like all the 5-stars this year at quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, too, half of the prospects that we think are going to be in 2027 will probably end up being in 2028 with the way NIL is going.
Yeah, fuck. That's actually a good point, too. But, like, this is, like, quite a good freshman. Like, even DeCorian Moore, who went to Oregon, he went 5th overall to Flet in the Debbie Degenerates League.
Yeah. I took Khalil. The only reason I know Khalil Lockett is because I took him in our Debbie League.
And you know the other reason, right?
Well, he plays for Texas and he's Tyler Lockett's little brother. So that's partially why I picked him. I did actually grind his high school tape, though.
Did you?
I did. Yeah, I watched his highlight tape.
Hopefully in the acceptable way.
Yeah. In the acceptable way of just looking for a good dynasty asset. And he just literally mossed everybody. So, I mean, he's not built like Tyler Lockett, that's for sure. He's got a little bit more size. I think he's like 6'2", 190 or something like that.
Samson? Never mind. Fuck me, I guess.
I'd be cool going Neil here. We didn't get Neil in the last draft. Cool. As long as we can still get Ferguson with our last pick, I think we should be fine.
You want to take him here and make sure? Take him here.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go Neil here. We'll get Ferguson, I think. Still.
I hope so.
Worst case, we take a different tight end. It's not a big deal to me.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
People saying, yeah, for sure, make that video. That'd be a solid video. If I'm a contender and running back needy, I have the 105, 106, 202. I mean, you should be able to get Henderson with one of those picks, and I'd be comfortable trading one of those picks away if you wanted to go after like a Bucky Irving or something. You could definitely do that. Maybe even Achane potentially with one of those early ones. And 202, I think, is also a primo sweet spot to trade for a contending running back like Henry or McCaffrey or somebody like that if you wanted to trade away that pick. But yeah, I mean, you're still going to get, like, you could walk out of this rookie class with, let's say it's a 1 quarterback league, you could walk out with Henderson, Judkins, and, you know, maybe Caleb Johnson at 202. And if it's a super flex league, maybe trade down from 106, sell the Cam Ward pick or whatever, and go down to the Judkins territory, even the Harvey or Caleb Johnson territory, plus maybe a contending running back on top of that. For sure.
Yeah, by the way, Bindles, if you wanted to come down with us, if we did decide to go to the Cowboys Lions Thursday night game, feel free.
Yeah, it would be interesting. And he said, if I'm a contender and running back needy, he said trade one of my first for a vet or sit and take Henderson, Judkins. If it's super flex, Jimmy, I don't think I would take Henderson and Judkins over some of the options that you're going to get there personally. But if it's 1 quarterback, I'd be okay doing it.
Yeah, we took Kelsey, so we weren't going to take him in this draft. Yeah, no, pretty simple though. 18th round, best ball pick, Noah Gray. If he hits your lineup 3 times, and it's more likely he would do that in the fantasy football playoffs, that's all you need. That's all you need from your 18th rounder.
Yeah.
Like if Kelsey were to actually realistically wear out and decline this year and missed any time, how much of a league winner could Noah Gray actually be?
He can be a decent one. You want to look at his team at 106? I'm just curious because you mentioned you want to look at my team.
Take a look. So Mekon, we got Jahmyr Gibbs, AJ Brown. I think that's the first. Dude, I'm already looking through the first 4 picks right off the bat. He did what we wanted to do, where he took Devontae right after we were talking about taking him. Getting Waddle there, Laporta, Shakir Mooney is pretty decent value. I mean, I'm not a huge Warren guy, but I like what you've been able to do here with landing the plane. I think Mims was a little redundant. I might have gone running back there. And here, go up a little bit, Spicy. Okay, so he got Mooney. Okay, I thought he took an unstacked Penix for a second. Otherwise, I would have said something. But and you got Algier. Okay, so you recorrelated the Atlanta. They play the Rams in Week 17. I know that. Who did the Panthers play? Panthers.
It's a gross game. Oh, the Seahawks. And
Seahawks, right? Yeah, we were literally asking who the Seahawks played earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think 3 drafts in the books. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll probably wrap this up around the 2-hour mark here. And Arthur came in just to hear the Noah Gray shout. You love to see it. But yeah, these are the pugs, and they're interesting contests. Like I said, for those of you guys that want to check them out, only a $12 entry, 3 entry max, fast drafts only. So you still have probably a couple days before this contest were to close, because people can't, entry max it with a slow draft kind of thing. But yeah, it's a good contest for those of you guys looking to get into Underdog. It's a low price point, small field, so it's a little bit more profitable than, say, like BBM is on a per draft basis and that kind of thing. And then you still have the chance to win 40 grand up top on a $12 entry. And Spicy, do you want to just quickly go to the main lobby and show off the $6 contests as well. Because I think anytime there's good contests in the lobby, it's best to get into Underdog at that point if you guys are new. So the Hound Dog, $6 entry, 5 entry max. So you hypothetically be in for $30, basically just a little bit more than a one entry into Best Ball Mania. And you could win up to 20K up top. And there's only 18,000 people in the contest. Like, to give you guys an idea, there's like 700,000 people in Best Ball Mania. So it's a much bigger field that you're looking at. But again, if you guys do want to check out Underdog, use the promo code FSE. It is linked in the chat, linked in the description of this live stream. Best Ball Mania is the big contest, of course. $2 million to first place, $25 entry, $1 million to second place, $100K to the regular season winner. But there is tons of contests, like I just detailed, the 2 limited time ones that you saw there, and then also the sprint, the marathon, the big dog for higher priced point players. Schnauzer is just closing up here. I think you probably got another couple of days before that one closes. $10 weekly winners. And of course, if you guys do sign up using promo code FSE, you also get a gimme pick in the Pick'em lobby to check out for NHL, NBA, WNBA, whatever sport you're a fan of. You can use that gimme pick right away. But you can also save it for the regular season of fantasy football if you want to. Maxing the pug with $36, a nice start for the noobs. Yeah, absolutely. So check that out if you guys are interested. We will be back tomorrow with tight end rankings. Check out all the quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers that we've done already through the redraft season, and wide receivers to target and avoid for the 2026 class. As in, we're looking at the 2026 prospects, who's good, who's not good. Spoiler alert, not quite as good as the running back prospects are in the 2026 class, but should be a fun video topic. That'll be either Saturday or Sunday. I haven't decided exactly when I'm going to drop that, but Friday, tight end rankings, Saturday or Sunday, wide receivers to target and avoid. And then we'll be back next week with a little bit more Dynasty content. Did a little bit of a redraft week this week. We'll probably try and mix it 50-50 going forward. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe as always. But with that being said, peace out. We'll talk to you soon.